heart and soul. I just want full control. It's time that you see, oh, your brother's dying. Wake up, wake up. Your sister's breaking down. Wake up, wake up. Your children running wild. Wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up. Wake up, church in the wilderness.
Hey, good morning. Welcome to the Doug Stewart Show. Yeah, fantastic, freaky, funny football Friday. And oh boy, we got a lot of great things planned for you today, as we do every single day. Shouts out and good morning to all of the Stewies and the Stewettes. Rise, yeah. So, October 20th, 2017. I think, Rob, what is this, the 6th edition of the Doug Stewart Show, or 7th? 8th? Oh, no, 7th. 7th edition of the Doug Stewart Show, live on Facebook and YouTube, man. Welcome to the show. Yeah. All right, so good morning to all of the Stewies and the Stewettes, the dogs and the poodles, everybody that listens to the show normally Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern time. In the background, you hear House of Fly. Check it out. So today we got a bunch of great guests, and one of the guests that we're going to have on today on the show, man, in the next 3 hours is music artist Pedi. He spells it P-E-D-I. I guess that's an artist type thing. But we're going to have musician Pedi from House of Fly, once again, which is the music that you hear in the background. Yeah. We're also going to talk to Branden Peters, beat writer for the NBA and Slam magazine. That should be very good as the association gets started this week. And we're also going to talk to Tom Silverstein, beat writer for the Green Bay Packers from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. He'll be talking about the Packers, and they got a new quarterback, man, probably for the rest of the year. So we'll get his thoughts on the team. We're also going to talk to comedian Christopher Columbus for the Funny Friday. Yeah. And a lot of fun, man. A lot of fun. Obviously, we'll talk about all of the sports. We'll talk about all of the stories going on in the world of sports last night. And as a matter of fact, from this past week, we'll kind of touch upon the biggest story of the week in sports, entertainment, and beyond. So we'll do that. And we got something very special that we're going to do today. So we've been talking about it all week long. And I don't even know how we got into the conversation, but we started talking about Fred Sanford and Sanford and Sanford and Son. Okay. And so we've been going back and forth to listeners to the show. So today I'm going to give you the definitive list on the top 5 episodes of Sanford and Son of all times. That's what we do. That's what we do. Yeah, we're definitely going to have some fun with that. So strewn throughout today's episode, we'll give you, starting from number 5 to number 1, the top 5 episodes, kind of mention the specifics about the top 5 episodes of Sanford and Son, man. Hey, listen, if you are new to the show, man, thank you for tuning in. We are looking for advertisers. We are looking for sponsors so that we can keep the lights on. Yeah. All right, so just check out the show, man. If you like what you're listening to, if you think it's a unique perspective to sports, entertainment, and all of that stuff, man, you can actually contribute to the show, all right, to keep the lights on once again. You'll actually see a graphic posted on the screen at some points throughout today's episode. The captain of the ship, my man Robert Hix and Maryland. Actually, if you're watching right now, you can see him on the back screen here, on the computer screen here. He'll post a graphic telling you how you can donate and contribute to the show. So we would really appreciate it, man. We have a lot of fun around here. If you listen to the show, you know that we talk about sports like nobody else. So we'll get into what happened last night and the NBA. We'll get into what happened last night in the NFL. Some crazy stuff happened in the NFL with the Raiders and Chiefs game. And then we'll talk about a team punching their ticket to the World Series this year. We got a couple of great guests, as I already mentioned. We got a couple other guys that we're going to call into the show, listeners to the Doug Stewart Show, that are probably going to have some stupid shit to say. But it is what it is. So we'll got a couple of callers, a couple of Stewies are going to call the show today as well. I'm going to tell you this right now. We don't have the Boyle Peanuts Award today. So if you're new and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show and you're watching the Doug Stewart Show on Facebook Live and on YouTube Live, we do every week on Friday, we give out a Buster of the Week in sports, entertainment, and beyond, and we call it the Boyle Peanuts Award. And long story how we came up with the name. I'm not going to even get into that right now. But basically it goes to the lamest, wackest, person of the week that said something crazy or did something crazy. We didn't do it today because we really didn't have, a good set of nominees. Like, we have your typical weekly 45. I mean, no different than the last, 30 or 40 weeks. We also had a little conversation about this rapper. I think it's Young Thug. I think he calls himself. I don't think his mama named him Young Thug, but he calls himself Young Thug. He actually did a video where he had a gun in his mouth, and it looked like he was giving fellatio to a gun, and he had on a wedding dress. I didn't even want to waste my time on that shit. And that was pretty much it. A lot of y'all tried to nominate my homeboy, Willie Vegas. I'm not going to even say his name. Yesterday, a lot of controversy on the Ryan Stewart Show on the 2 Live Stews Radio Network, and you're watching the Doug Stewart Show. A lot of controversy yesterday on Ryan's show. We started talking about old school beefs and how your boys don't look out for you when you get into a scrap or whatever, and how you getting killed and nobody helps and jumps in. And so I had buried this information about a guy in that same particular conversation in that category that watched me get my ass kicked about 27 years ago. Very sensitive subject. So I didn't want that to come out, and I told my brother in confidence. Yeah, I wrote it down and told him in confidence, and he spit it out just like he always does. He can't keep shit secret. So I didn't want to put that guy either, once again, just to, drum back up that story from 25 years ago. That's a long story. There's more details to it. A lot of you may not even pay attention or didn't know the story, so I'm not going to get into it. But we're going to have a lot of fun today in any regard, all right? Hey, listen, you can call the show. Somebody just texted me and said, you should talk about skaters. I had this rant yesterday about how I used to hate the cats that used to be able to skate back in the day at the skating rink when I was a teenager. Didn't you hate that dude at the skating rink that could skate backwards and that could dance and do all of that shit and had curly hair? Didn't you hate that ninja? And he had his own skates and, he was just, very, very obnoxious. But anyway, so today, man, a lot of things we're going to get into. The number is 404-822-5467. You can actually call the show and be on the show live, or you can email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Once again, a bunch of great guests lined up for you today. We're going to take a quick little break, and when we get back, we're going to get into it. If you're new to the show, if you've never listened to the 2 Live Stews back in the day, anything like that, you'll know that I'm a Laker fan. Yeah. And let me just say this from the rip. It's just one game, man. It's just one game out of 82. Lonzo Ball is going to be all right. And I know you haters are going to come out the woodwork. Oh, Lonzo ain't shit. Lonzo's overrated. His daddy's a big mouth. Shut it up. There was one bad game. One bad game in this kid's career. First game. Hell, he had butterflies. What? Don't you have butterflies when you do something new? All right, so I'm going to calm down. When we get back, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it like civilized people. The start for the Lakers last night in the NBA. We'll also talk about what happened last night with the Raiders and Marshawn Lynch is crazy as a loon. Right. And the Dodgers, man, back in the World Series for the first time in a long time. All right, so we're going to take a quick 3-minute break, and we'll be back. Don't go away. The Doug Stewart Show.
Y'all can't mess with us. Y'all can't mess with us. Y'all can't mess with us. Can't mess with us. Got on the side. Then we got that light in the building. No, we ain't gon' hide. Then we got that fire, so don't try us. 'Cause we SBL. And we ain't gon' die. Can't mess with us. Can't mess with us. Y'all can't mess with us. Got on the side. Then we got that light in the building. No, we ain't gon' hide. Then we got that fire, so don't try us. 'Cause we SBL. And we ain't gon' die. Can't mess with us. Can't mess with us. So don't try us.
Who you think that you is?
Who you think you are?
Trying to step to this.
I don't do it.
Think that you gon' do this.
Say what?
Mess around and lose it. You told me I'm nothing at all. You telling me that I won't make it at all. So try, just gonna stumble and fall. We're bringing the fight, me and y'all bringing the war. I looked into your eyes, all I saw was fear. Chasing me soon you be running away.
Can't mess with us. Got on the side. Yeah, we got that light in the building. No, we ain't gon' hide. Yeah, we got that fire, so don't try us. 'Cause we SBL. And we ain't gon' die. Can't mess with us. Can't mess with us.
Y'all can't mess with us.
Got on the side. Yeah, we got that light in the building. No, we ain't gon' hide. Yeah, we got that fire, so don't try us. 'Cause we SBL. And we ain't gon' die. Can't mess with us. Can't mess with us. So don't try us.
While we going through this,
Boy, don't waste my time.
can't you see it's useless?
I said don't do it.
Please don't make me prove it.
Say what?
I'm about to lose it. Regretting that you ever stepped to me. Your weapons, your guns, they ain't no match for me.
I told you.
I cut out your tongue for speaking that blasphemy. Look at this crowd.
Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. So these cats from House of Fly are like real mellow, like relaxing music. Yeah, so we're going to talk to recording artist Pedi from the group House of Fly a little bit later on today on the show. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. 404-822-5467. You can also email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. I can't even remember what it was and how we started talking about Sanford and Son this last week. But if you listen to the Two Live Stews over the last 15 years and this show over the last couple of years, you know that my favorite TV show of all times is Sanford and Son. Like I've seen, this is no joke. I've seen literally each episode probably 20 times a piece. Now you may say to yourself, you don't have anything else to do? Hey, I mean, that show is...
Wake up.
Y'all can't mess with us.
each of the actors or actresses and or whatever, but I still laugh like it's the first time ever. And this show came out like 40 years ago. So for some reason, we started talking about it this week and had some discussion about it on social media. And somebody says, why don't you give the top 5 episodes of Sanford and Son since you're the Sanford and Son aficionado? All right. So I'm going to start from number 5 and go to number 1. Coming in at number 5 and the top 5 episodes of Sanford and Son of all time, so says me, is the card game episode. That's right. Yeah. So you remember this episode, man. Lamont hosted a poker game at his house, which I'm very, very familiar with. Lamont hosted a poker game at his house, man, and a bunch of cats came over, gangsters, hustlers, or whatever, man. And they straight were cheating Lamont. And Fred knew it. You know, Fred's an old school G, so he's seen all of the tricks of the trade or whatever. And Fred sent Lamont out. You know, he felt sorry for him. Lamont didn't want to listen. And Fred sent him out to go get some milk or some beer or something like that. I think it was actually beer, not milk. And by the time he had come back, Fred, with his x-ray glasses, had hustled all of the hustlers' money, and they had to leave, and they were out. And real funny back and forth between him and Fred and the card players or whatever, man. So coming in at number 5 on the list of top 5 Sanford and Son episodes is the card game. Yeah. All right, so listen, man, I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to talk about this. So you had a couple things go down last night, and you can email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. You can post your thoughts in the chat room on Facebook Live and YouTube Live, and we're going to read chat messages throughout today's show, too. Let's be civil about this. That's all I'm asking. Before I can start talking about this, let's be civil about this, all right? Blake Griffin scored 29 points, and DeAndre Jordan added 14 and 24 rebounds in the Lakers' 108-92 rout, or the Clippers' 108-92 rout of the Lakers on Thursday night. The big story of the game is Patrick Beverley literally shutting down rookie Summer League player or MVP player. He was a Summer League MVP player. What? But Patrick Beverley basically shutting down Lonzo Ball. Lonzo had 29 minutes, went 1 for 6 from the field, and had 3 points. That's right. 9 rebounds, 4 assists. Really tough night for the young man. And the Clippers in L.A., Battle of L.A., beat the Lakers 108-92. And there was some discussion about Patrick Beverley. And, you know, he had extra incentive to go out and play hard against Lonzo Ball because of things that his daddy said. First of all, let me remind y'all something. Patrick Beverley is an asshole. All right? Let's keep that in mind. Let's keep that in mind. The average NBA player not going to come on there with some type of chip on their shoulder towards Lonzo Ball, who is throughout this whole controversy of him and his daddy over the last, year or so, ever since he came onto the scene at UCLA. He's not like most players. Lonzo Ball, back to Lonzo. Lonzo has really been quiet and been a pro about his daddy's shenanigans. So this ain't about Lonzo Ball. This ain't about, his play on the court. This kid has been humble. He's been classy. His daddy, to a lot of people, is the a-hole, but not the kid. But remember this, and I've been saying it for all, everybody to hear, is that I don't think there's going to be extra, pressure placed on players to defend or go at Lonzo Ball hard. I don't believe that. I think it might be, the fashionable thing to do early on in his career. But this kid isn't making all of these comments and doing all these things and saying all these things. What makes this different last night is that Patrick Beverley is an asshole. Y'all know that. He is. So he made a big scene, and he was so boisterous and graphic and making all these faces and going extra hard at Lonzo Ball just because that's the type of dude he is. He's a freaking idiot. All right? So tough night for the young rookie. He did the same thing this summer in the Summer League games, and I know I'm comparing Summer League games to NBA games. So last night he probably had butterflies. And I'm making an excuse for him because I'm a Laker fan, damn it. That's fine. All right. So the kid probably had butterflies. What is he, 20 years old? He's not even 20, I don't think. The kid is like 19 years old. Tough night, first night. Pace of the game, speed of the game, anxiety. I mean, he was hyped up, ready to go. He looked like he was a little bit out of control to me as well. And so it was a tough night. They don't have a lot of other players around them. We've already talked about it. So it was a tough night, but we're going to move on from that shit. We moving on, and I suggest you do too. We are moving on. One game out of 82. I mean, hell, as far as we know, they're going to go 81-0 in the next 81 games. Shut up, studio audience. Shut up. We don't know what's going to happen. I mean, somebody could click a switch or something like that and they can get good. I don't know about that, but we can see. We can hope. But tough night for Lonzo Ball last night, and hopefully he'll build from it and go to game 2. As a matter of fact, the Lakers take on the Suns this Friday night, which is tonight. So I can't wait. I'll be at the house with popcorn and nice Coca-Cola or whatever, man, and watching game 2 with this kid. We'll see the progression from game 1 to game 2. Also last night, man, in football, in the NFL, the Raiders took on the Kansas City Chiefs. Derek Carr threw a 2-yard touchdown pass to Michael Crabtree on the final play after the game was extended by 2 straight penalties. And the Oakland Raiders snapped a 4-game losing streak with a 31-30 win over the Kansas City Chiefs. Good game for the Raiders. Yeah. Good game for the Raiders, man. They had really been struggling over the last couple of weeks, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show on the DougStewartShow.com and today on Facebook Live and on YouTube Live. So the Raiders had really been struggling. Derek Carr had just come back from injury last week, so they really needed last night. And Derek Carr goes 29 for 52, 417 yards, 3 TDs. You also had an Amari Cooper sighting last night. He has been missing in action, and you're watching the Doug Stewart Show. But last night, big night for Amari Cooper. 11 receptions, 210 yards, and 2 touchdowns for the player, the wide receiver out of Alabama. So big game by him. Glad that the Raiders are back on track. I lightweight quasi root for the Raiders as well. Never really had an NFL team my entire life. I know it's kind of strange for a guy to talk sports, but never really had a chosen NFL team that I quote unquote rooted for as a little boy into adulthood. But I like the Raiders, man. I like Al Davis, God rest the dead. I like everything that an organization has been. The fact that they play hardcore, rotten, nasty, dirty, drag down, spit in your face, kick you in your testicles football. I do. I do. Historically, that's what they've done. All right, so the Raiders get back on the winning side of things. The Kansas City Chiefs lose their last 2 games in a row. They lose last week to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then they lose last night, obviously, to the Raiders. Next week, the Chiefs host Denver, as well as the Raiders on next week. They go to Buffalo on October 29th. So good win for the Raiders last night. Ball award to them. That's right. And also last night, man, Kiki Hernandez in Major League Baseball. Kiki Hernandez homered 3 times and drove in 7 runs in the Los Angeles Dodgers, beat up the Chicago Cubs 11-1 on Thursday behind Clayton Kershaw to reach the World Series for the first time in almost 3 decades. Yes. So, ball award to the Dodgers, ball award to Clayton Kershaw, man. 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 5 strikeouts, and only 1 base on ball. So Kershaw, who had historically struggled in the postseason, man, has been lights out. The Dodgers are going back to the World Series for the first time in 29 years. Shouts out to them. The Cubs, the lovable losers, go back home for the summer. They go fishing. But big win for the Dodgers, man. Big night for Kiki Hernandez, man. When I ever think about somebody hitting 3 home runs, if you are my age or my age bracket, my demo, You remember the great Reggie Jackson did it, man, back in, I think it was like 1976 or something like that. They gave that man his own damn candy bar for doing that shit. Right. Right. You remember the Reggie bar? Reggie Jackson had his own candy bar. Reggie Jackson was big stuff. And so it hadn't been done a lot, man. And to do it last night was incredible. Speaking of which, Hernandez joined Kennedy in 2002, Adrian Beltre in 2011. And as I just mentioned, Reggie Jackson back in 1977 versus the Dodgers, and Babe Ruth back in 1928 as players to hit 3 home runs in a post-series clincher. So big ups to Kike Hernandez last night. Big night for him. Yeah. Yep. So Dodgers relievers have thrown 23 consecutive scoreless innings, and that's a postseason record. Got you, Rob. Yeah. So what goes down tonight? Game 6, Yankees and the Houston Astros tonight. Game 6. I'm trying to find the time. That's 8:08 p.m. tonight Eastern time on Fox Sports 1. And then if it is a Game 7, if there is a Game 7 needed, you have Game 7 in Houston as well as the Yankees and the Astros continue their series. All right. 404-822-5467. You can also email me at dougstewartshow.com. I just always I'm one of the people that kind of think it's cool when the traditional powers and the signature teams of the prospective sports, man, are doing well. And so to hear Dodgers, which have been out of it for a long time, to hear the Dodgers and the Yankees may be back in the World Series, they got some work to do down 3-2. To see Yankees and Dodgers relevant again, man, I think it's a good thing for sports. All right. When we get back from the break, we'll read some of your messages in the chat, as well as we may have a call on the line for you. All right. If you listen to the show, the Yankees doing big things and the Giants in the news, we may have on the #1 Chief Rocker Vern from Jersey. All right. Shouts out to contributors to the show, Willie D and Tyrone B. Thank you very much, Willie D and Tyrone B. Yeah. All right. So we're going to take we really appreciate that. We're going to take a quick little break, maybe 2-3 minutes, and we'll be back to read some of your messages in the chat, take your phone calls if we got them. Don't go away. This is the Doug Stewart Show.
Wake up. 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 Who are you, child, and where do you come from? That puzzle look, it tells me you have forgotten your identity's such a mystery. If you want these answers, son, you can follow me down this rabbit hole. This world, let it go. Your open mind is all I need, yeah. Give me your heart and soul. I just want full control. It's time that you see, oh, your brother's dying. Wake up, wake up. Your sister's breaking down. Wake up, wake up. Your children running wild. Wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up. Wake up, church in the wilderness. Wake up from your sleep. Oh, you've been sleeping for far too long. It's time you stand up for me. I haven't forgot about you, no. Oh, you're the first in my scene. My royal blood, it flows through you. you pick up this cross, who will you run from? Your identity, oh, that comes from me. Your mission is simple, son, set the captives free from this sinful world that has them bound. If they accept my freedom, they could wear my crown. I've given you the keys, now wake them up for me. It's time that they see, oh, this world is dying. Wake up from the deception, oh. Wake up, it needs direction. Wake up, church in the wilderness. Wake up.
Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. And the number to the show is 404-822-5467. And just like Vern, man, he screws everything up.
Yeah, my bad.
Hey, Vern.
Yeah.
You are a walking cliche, bro. I always talk about how you screw things up. And right before we come back on the air, somehow you lose your phone call and you drop the call. I mean, damn, Vern.
No, man, I'm going to tell you what really happened, man. I seen this here dime piece just go by, and I accidentally, hit the button and whatnot. So, what you want me to do?
Right. We're talking right now. You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, watching the Doug Stewart Show on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. So I've got on the line right now. I affectionately call him my Uncle Vern. And he's a piece of work. Just put it like that. He also hosts a show on Two Live Shoes Radio Network. The number one chief rocker, Vern from Jersey Show. Vern, how you doing today? First of all, sir.
Oh man, it can't be no better, man. Sun shining. I'm living. I'm about to go get me a haircut and shave, so that I can get ready, to celebrate my birthday tomorrow, even though it was yesterday.
Speaking of which, let me stop you right there, Vern. Happy 79th birthday, Vern.
Man, come on, man. Well, y'all killing me with that, man. I mean, if I'm 79, I look better than every 30 years in the chat room,
Right.
So,
yeah. Whatever, Vern. Happy 79th birthday, man. What are you planning to do this weekend?
Man, I'm going to dancing and, drink and eat and, pop me a couple of Viagra's and do what I got to do.
So, Vern, the fact that you're 79 years old is very interesting to me because you have a full head of hair, which I'm very jealous of. I got to be honest about that. Tell me how that shit works. How you're 79 years old and you still got a box like it's 1987. And also, man, tell me about this dancing thing. If people that listen to the show, we got a lot of regular people that listen to the show. And this guy is an animal on the dance floor, Vern. How do you do it at such an old, vintage age?
With a little bit of weight on me, man. It's just what they call that? Athleticism. You know what I'm saying?
Wait. You mean athleticism?
Yeah, I think that's what I said.
No, that's not what you said, but go ahead, Vern.
Oh, okay. Oh, it kind of stumbled out. My tongue got tied. But, yeah, back in the days, man, I was a hard worker at what I used to do.
Right.
And see, I found out as you get older, you don't never lose the shit. All you need is that second win.
Right.
That second win, you get that second win, man, shoot. Like I said, man, I could be out there all night. What I'm going to do all night is I'm going to go when the club open. And not the club, but, a little spot on Old National.
Right.
Grown folks.
A hole in the wall. Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. And, I'm going to get there early so I can get the food when it's freshly cooked on some freshly oil or whatever if I get some wings, I'm going to eat, have a couple of drinks. I invited the Atlanta Stewies to meet me there. It's up to them, man,
Vern, when exactly are you going to be there, Vern? I might stop by and buy you a drink or something like that.
Oh, the doors open at 8:30, 8 o'clock, 8:30.
Tonight?
I'll be there probably, tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night,
Saturday
okay.
Night,
Okay, all right.
Yeah. I'll be there about that time, man. I'll be sitting up there, drink me a few. By the time I eat and drink, the DJ be warming up.
Right.
So by the time he finishes warming up, then I just go grab the first one I can see. I don't know, whoever. you know, I have some people to dance with, but if they don't come, man, shit, it'd be too many up in there not to.
All right, so grown folks tomorrow night, the #1 Chief Rocker Vern from Jersey celebrating his 79th birthday. I might try to make it there, Vern.
Yeah, do that, man. Do that. Don't be shy. Come on up in there, man, and treat your boy.
All right, all right. So we gotta get you off the line because you've been talking way too much. But you wanted to talk some sports, man. You wanted to talk about your Yankees as they're still in the postseason play, man, trying to make a trip to the World Series. If you're new to the show, Vern is from New York or Jersey or Boston or Philadelphia, one of those places. So he loves New York sports like everybody up there does. So what do you want to talk about sports-wise, Vern?
Well, my Yankees is one game away from going to meet them Dodgers so we can whoop that ass like we used to back in the days. You know, we got our young pitcher pitching tonight, and they got old Verlander that used to pitch with the Detroit Tigers, right? So
right, Justin Verlander.
I feel like this. Yeah, I feel like this, right? Them young boys don't feel no pain. They don't feel no shyness, and they got togetherness, man. They like the old Pirates, man. Willie Starr joint, where they was like, family, we are family. That's what the song, you know, came into fame when they started winning World Series. So I put it to you like this, man. We family. We going out there and bust that ass, move on out to L.A. and play them, bust that ass. And then we move into this Sunday where my Giants hosting the Seattle Seahawks, you know. And, you know, we already bust up Denver. So ain't nothing like going 2-5 this weekend because we gonna bust them boys up, man. I don't see them beating us, man. Russell Wilson gonna have the worst game of his life.
Right. So the Giants are still in contention for winning the Super Bowl this year, huh, Vern?
Oh yeah, man. We got 10 games left, huh? When did you ever know a team was out with 10 games left?
Yeah, whatever, Vern. And lastly, anything else you want to get into? I gotta let you go for real.
Yeah,
you're watching the Doug Stewart Show.
The major thing I got to get into is I get sick and tired of you talking about them glamour punk out in L.A. called the Fakers. You know what I'm saying? They ain't gonna do nothing. You know? I mean, Ball, if y'all counting on Ball to bring you a championship, man, y'all better think twice, man. I seen Clay Davis had y'all making the playoff. Come on, man. I don't see that, man. Y'all is not the 8th best team in the West. If anything, y'all gonna finish below the dungeon, you know? So,
Vern,
Vern,
you do realize it's just one game, right?
Shit, one of the many yet y'all gonna lose.
Yeah, but I mean, it's an 82-game season.
I bet you don't win more than 25 games.
Oh, no, I'm not going to bet you because I don't bet. But, Vern, we're going to win more than 25 games. As a matter of fact, the Lakers are probably going to get that 8th spot. And your New York Knicks, your New York Giants, and your New York Yankees are all going to fail this year. How about that?
Doug, stop dreaming. And you say you don't bet? You play fantasy ball. That's like betting.
Why you got to bring up old shit? Nobody's talking about that. Nobody's talking about that. 404-822-5467. You can also email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. In any regard, all of the New York sports talk, whatever. Trying to diss the Lakers after one game. In any regard, man, happy birthday to the #1 Chief Rocker Vern from Jersey. Yeah. Happy birthday, Vern. The man just turned 87 years old. Listen, in a couple of segments, we're going to talk about the biggest story of the week in sports, entertainment, and beyond. You can kind of guess what it is. Something Colin Kaepernick associated, usually. That's the way it's been going down here on the show and in sports talk radio in general for like the last year and a half. But very interesting developments this week with the Colin Kaepernick controversy, story, anthem protest, whatever you want to call it. So stay tuned for that. We're also going to talk to Branden Peters, NBA beat writer, Slam Magazine, as well, writer. Tom Silverstein from the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. So we got a bunch of great guests. And comedian Christopher Columbus and music artist Pedi from House of Fly. So a lot to get to on the show today. Yeah. And we still got to give you the top 5 episodes of Sanford and Son of all time, just to mix it up a little bit, just to switch it up a little bit. Number 5 on the list was the card game episode, Hucklebuck. Remember that? That's at number 5. I'm going to give you number 4 here in a second, so stay tuned for that. You can call the show at 404-822-5467. When we get back, we'll read some of your messages in the chat room on Facebook Live and YouTube Live, and we may have another caller on the line as well. We'll see. Sports Talk with Hot Sauce, Texas Pete Hot Sauce. You are watching The Doug Stewart Show. Yeah.
So there is no la, la,
back to the show. House of Fly in the background. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. 404-822-5467. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. So I didn't even talk about it when we talked about the Raiders and Chiefs last night, but Marshawn Lynch, man, lost his damn mind. So, I mean, you know beast mode. He's very, what's the word? Emotional, very temperamental. He's just a different type of cat. So most of you may have seen the play, even if you didn't see it live last night. They sacked Derek Carr, and Marcus Peters, defensive back for the Kansas City Chiefs, dives in and like tries to give him a bow or whatever while he's on the ground. And so kind of like one of those old skirmishes, scuffles happen in football that happen each and every week. and you're watching the Doug Stewart Show. And referees try to break everybody up, and Marshawn Lynch comes flying off the bench onto the field. Now, he's not even on the field at the time. As a matter of fact, he's not really playing a lot. He didn't play a lot last night. He got very few snaps last night in the game. I don't think that he has an injury or anything like that that I know of. But Marshawn Lynch flew out there, man, and jumped into the fracas and started pushing cats. And so from what I understand, they told the story last night that him and Marcus Peters are from Oakland, and they know each other, and they're kind of like got a brother relationship or whatever. And so twofold, Marshawn Lynch was trying to break up this fight and trying to calm down Marcus Peters, defensive back for the Kansas City Chiefs. And at the same time, look out for his homeboy. And they know each other, and so that's another part of it. Just very strange to see that a guy comes off the bench, literally. You know, they got a rule about that in the NBA where you can't come off the bench if something happens, if a fight or something happens on the floor. Probably a good thing, because they had at one point in time, man, a lot of fights happening in the NBA. And so this was kind of like a way to quell that type of thing happening. And so if you come off the bench in the NBA, you automatically get in a fine, you automatically get suspended or whatever. So I didn't see exactly what the punishment is going to be for him. I know he's going to get fined like $30,000 or something like that. But just a very strange scene. And Marshawn Lynch is always kind of associated with strange scenes. I love the dude. He's averaging 3.7 yards a carry right now, a little bit under the average in the NFL. But I love the dude, plays with a lot of passion and emotion. One of the realest cats that you will ever see in your life. And but just last night was very, very, very strange. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. 404-822-5467. You can also email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. Let me read a couple of messages in the chat room on Facebook Live and YouTube Live from, who do we have here? Donovan Freeman. He says, I just watched Inside the NBA, and Shaq, Charles, and Kenny said the exact opposite. They think that all players are gunning for Lonzo. From Cedric Galloway, Lonzo will be fine. He sucked his first summer league game, sucked his first preseason game, so it is what it is. Let's see Patrick Beverley have all the aggression when CP3 comes to town. Exactly. Patrick Beverley, I never liked that joker. What did he do over the last couple of years? Oh, I think it was Patrick Beverley was the dude that undercut Kobe Bryant or somebody. I can't remember. I got early signs of dementia. I've taken a lot of hits to the head from football. But it was Patrick Beverley, who's always getting to these little things with dirty play, questionable play, or whatever. Ain't nobody studying no damn Patrick Beverley. Curlin Hayes says Doug stayed up all night trying to come up with an excuse for his boy Lonzo Ball. Excuse me, sir. I got better things to do. Ronald C. He says another good Sanford and Son episode was when Donna brought her patient over to Fred's house, and Fred was this close to whipping his ass. Right. The bald-headed dude with the George Jefferson little hairdo. That's honorable mention. I got a couple honorable mentions I'm going to give as well. Speaking of which, the top 5 episodes of Sanford and Son of all time. Coming in at number 5 was the card game. Hucklebuck and all of those guys, man, hustling Lamont out of his money, the big dummy that he is. And Fred had to come and save the day with his x-ray glasses. Coming in at number 4, the top 4 episodes of Sanford and Son of all times is the JoJo Jackson episode. Yes, sir. I like that. I got to be honest with you, man. Even as a young boy watching that episode, man, the dude that played JoJo Jackson was scary as shit. I don't know why. But that dude was real life scary. All right. Long ass arms. He damn throw a jab from 30 feet away and knock your ass out. But you know the premise of the episode, man. Lamont goes out with one of his gals, a chick that he was messing with. She had a former boyfriend that didn't like that. And he showed up, man, and said that he was going to beat the hell out of Lamont the next time he sees him. And they had this set up where they were going to meet, and he was going to beat up Lamont. And Lamont, in the meantime, took some karate lessons and came out there and acted a fool, man. And actually, the strange thing about this episode, or the interesting thing about this episode, is Fred Sanford wasn't in this episode. Red Fox wasn't in this episode. This is one of those episodes where Fred went out of town, like he had to go home to St. Louis to take care of some family business, which he frequently did. I guess that meant that he was on vacation from the show. And so Grady was watching the house. We talked about this a lot over the last couple of days. Like, why was Grady watching the house? Like, why was he babysitting Lamont when he was 48 years old? Very, very strange. So coming in at number 4 in the list of top 5 episodes of Sanford Son of all time, so says me, Doug Stewart, the JoJo Jackson episode. Yeah. I got to be honest with you, man. I got to be honest with you. This was a very hard list to put together. And you're watching the Doug Stewart Show on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. And I've been doing these lists, man. Me and my brother have been doing these lists since 2001, top 5s. And this was very hard because there's so many great episodes of that show that it's crazy. And so, I mean, really the order, I put them in order, but don't hold me to the order. I got a couple more honorable mentions that I'm going to talk about later on today on the show as well. So stay tuned for that. And you're watching the Doug Stewart Show. From Doc Bell, Tiff, Doug is building a bridge of excuses that leads to nowhere. I'm not building no excuses for Lonzo Ball. I'm just stating the facts. Facts and excuses are much different, okay? They're entirely different. I'm not making excuses for the young man. From Tiffany, she says, Doug sounds like Chief and the Giants. Laugh out loud. Lakers aren't going to win 81 games. You don't know. You don't know. You don't know. You can't read the damn future. Tiffany Sports and Heels. I think that's who that is. Tiffany Sports and Heels. Tiffany Poole in Portland. Good morning to you. Shouts out to all of the ladies that listen to the show. Let me grab a call. Caller, thanks for calling the Doug Stewart Show. What's your name? Where you calling from? What you want to talk about?
Hey, this is Grego, calling from Atlanta, and I like to talk Patriots.
So Grego from Atlanta. You're watching the Doug Stewart Show. How much time do we have left before we have to end this call? So if you're new to the show, Grego is the ultimate contrarian. That's what I call him. When we zig, he zags. He's a Patriot fan. Grego, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing pretty excellent. How are you?
I'm good, man. What do you want to talk about?
Hey, I just wanted to talk about the matchup. A lot of people are telling me that the Falcons are going to win at work, but I mean, we already seen how that normally works out.
So let me set the table. For people that don't know and don't listen to the show, this is the first time they may be catching it. Grego is a New England Patriots fan, the only black New England Patriot fan outside of Boston that is a Patriot.
Be easy with the word black.
Right. Well, I mean, what do you term yourself?
Just Grego.
Just Grego. So he's not black. He's not OJ. He's just Grego.
Yep.
So Grego, go ahead about this matchup between the Falcons and the Patriots this week in a rematch of the Super Bowl from this past year. What are your thoughts?
No, I was just gonna say, did you realize they played several times and the Patriots won the last 4, but before that, the Falcons won the last 4 in regular season. So I mean, it's going to be a pretty good toss-up. The only thing I'm concerned with is the wide receivers and the running backs from the Falcons. But I looked at the referee who was doing this game. Is Gene Steratore, and he allows like a little rough play on the wide receivers, and he allows those rub routes that we like to do. So I think it's going to be a pretty good matchup. But I didn't call in just for the stats, man. I just wanted to see, I wanted to kind of build up the hype for it because I know your fan base is, Falcons fans. So I just wanted to ask you, did you want to hear a Falcons joke?
Yeah, go ahead, Grego. Give me a Falcons joke.
Steve Sarkisian.
I'm sorry?
Steve Sarkisian.
What?
Your offensive coordinator, Sark. He's a joke. That's what's how you guys your game. Got another one for you. What does Joel Osteen?
Wait. We got to cut this call short real fast. That was a horrible joke, Grego. First of all, I didn't even understand.
Great joke.
What?
That was a great joke.
Okay, go ahead with your second one.
I got another one.
Go ahead.
Okay. So what do the Falcons and Joel Osteen have in common?
What do the Falcons and Joel Osteen have in common?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So they both make over 70,000 people stand up and yell, Jesus Christ. That was a good one.
Hey man, let me tell you, you need to keep your day job because you suck at comedy just like you suck at your sports prognostication, sir. Is there anything else, Grego?
Hey, nah, I just take the Falcons losing by 3 this weekend. Great show. I appreciate everything. I got one more if you want.
Yeah, go ahead. We might as well, Grego. Hurry up, though.
All right, yeah. So I took my vacuum cleaner to Electrolux because it was broken. They just put a Trufant jersey on it, and now it sucks again.
I actually allowed that shit to happen. I apologize to the viewers right now. He said he took his Trufant jersey or his vacuum cleaner and put a Trufant jersey that was broken and it sucks again, talking about Marcus Trufant or Desmond Trufant. All right. I guess thanks for the call in any regard. Dry sense of humor, Patriots fan. Very confused young man. All right, so we're going to take a quick little break. When we get back, I'm going to continue to read more of this chat. And here's what we're going to do as well. We're going to talk about the biggest story of the week in sports, entertainment, and beyond. We'll get to that. What time is it? Or are we scheduled? Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll talk about the biggest story this past week in sports. We'll get you ready for Branden Peters, writer from Slam Magazine, talking about the start of the NBA season. He's actually from the Bay Area. So I want to get his thoughts on the Raiders as well and the Golden State Warriors in particular. All right, a quick little 3-minute break. Don't go away. The Doug Stewart Show.
Storm clouds hung over my head, and the voices said I'll never make it. Could it be I'm going crazy? I'm defective, is this how you made me? My dark thoughts starting closing me. I wanted to be free. I know I'm not alone, no I'm not alone. Where's your please help me? Voice calling out to me. He said that he loved me and he'll never leave me. I was made for greatness, I was meant for more. So I won't listen to your lies, listen to your lies. I found love in my darkest night. Darkest night, I found love in my darkest night. I found love in my darkest night.
to the Doug Stewart Show. So we had to take a break just now. And in the background, you hear House of Fly, which we're going to talk to one of the artists, Pedi, a little bit later from House of Fly. We had to go to break just now, man, because I had to take a phone call. And it was from Sadie, the bill collector. She said that they're going to turn the lights off. We can't get ninjas to donate and contribute to the show. Right. You know how bill collectors are. They just threaten you, man. So listen, it is very important that you understand we are in critical condition right now. It is very important for you to understand, not just this show, the Facebook Live and the YouTube Live show on Friday, but Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern time. We need some contributions. We need $1. We need 50 cents. Hell, you may have $500 laying around. Maybe you got it like that. Maybe you got 50 grand laying around. Maybe you one of them oil barons or something like that, or Jock Ewan or something like that. Please, there's a graphic that my man Rob is going to post where you can go and contribute through PayPal. Safe and secure, real easy. You can do it in like 5 minutes, man. We would really, really appreciate it. We are getting to critical mass here. I mean, this man got to eat. I mean, forget about me. This man got to eat. I mean, look at this guy. If you're watching the show right now, you can see this view. Look at this guy. I mean, that guy, his mouth is white because he's hungry. Not only is his face white, but his mouth is white too. Because he hadn't eaten. He hadn't eaten in a couple of days, all right? So he can't keep doing this shit for nothing, all right? So if you can, man, seriously, though, contribute to the show, man. We really would appreciate it. We think we got a great product here. We believe that we can build this thing into something huge and something special. So once again, you'll see the graphic where you can contribute to the show, and we really would appreciate it. Anything you got, $1, $5, $10, $50,000, $500,000. Once again, I'm not judging you. I don't know what you got in your pocket. We will take it. We will take it. All right. Hey, the biggest story, or guess the most interesting story in sports this past week was more Colin Kaepernick talk. Colin Kaepernick's attorney, Mark Gagaros, said Tuesday he has a high degree of confidence that he will be able to prove the National Football League team owners colluded to keep Colin Kaepernick from being signed. You heard me. If you didn't know, Colin Kaepernick signed or filed a grievance against the NFL for collusion. Basically, what that means, if you're not really into sports like that or whatever, they conspired not to give him a job because of his anthem protest that he started last year at the standing of the national anthem prior to football games. Here's a quote. "I'm going to predict right now that we will have a smoking gun," Gagaros told CNN's Anderson Cooper on AC360. "There are people who are not going to get into an arbitration proceeding, and they are not going to lie. They are not going to lie. They are going to tell the truth, and they are going to say what happened. They were told, no, you're not going to hire him." So when this story came out this week, man, me being conspiracy ninja that I am, and you're listening and watching the Doug Stewart Show, my whole thing was, this sounds very, very hard, or it sounds like a very difficult thing to prove collusion with all 32 owners. And I've been consistent about this the entire time. Like, I do believe a majority of the owners aren't signing Colin Kaepernick because of his protest that he started last year. I do believe that. I don't believe that all 32 of them are, I guess, of that mindset. And I also think it'd be harder, and I'm not the only one thinking this, I'm not the Lone Ranger on this, that it'd be even harder to prove that they all came together and talked about it collectively not to give this guy a job. You know, there's 32 owners, or actually there's 31 owners in the NFL. The Green Bay Packers are owned by shareholders. I don't believe, or at least I haven't seen anything, and I just think that's a very hard thing to prove, that 31 owners came together and says, we're not going to give Colin Kaepernick a job because of this protest. We believe that may be the case. It seems like that's the case. It's reasonable to think that that's the case, and the fact that he's way better than, you know, every second and third string quarterback on every team's roster. But can you prove that these guys came together? I don't know if there's a paper trail of an email. The attorney for Colin Kaepernick is saying that he's going to, you know, get these guys on the stand and they're going to have to tell the truth under oath. So I don't know the ins and outs of exactly what's needed to prove collusion in the NFL. I just think it's going to be hard. I just think it's going to be very hard. But here's the thing about it. And here's the big thing about it that I don't think a lot of people are talking about, and you're watching the Doug Stewart Show, is Colin Kaepernick has shown to be very thorough. You can say all that you want about this guy. You can say he shouldn't have done this. He started this big protest and he was wrong. But one thing you can't say is that he is very thorough. When he started this protest, he gave commentary after the particular game where this whole story came out, and gave very succinct reasons on why he didn't stutter, on why he didn't feel like that he should stand for the national anthem. Whether you agree with them or not, those are his reasons. He has not done or said anything, you know, to kind of dilute what the purpose of the protest has been about. And so if you hear him talk, if you hear his reasoning and you really listen to what the guy has had to say about this topic, when he has said something, in which, by the way, that's been very little. Like, he hasn't really commented about this at all. But when he has talked about, you know, why he's doing this and why he started this national story, he seems very, very smart to me, very intelligent in his description and his reasoning on why he did it. The guy hadn't said anything, once again, I remind you, and I think that's smart because he's basically been holding his cards close. And now it seems like that he felt like at this time that it was time to pull that ace up his sleeve. And if you didn't know, the reason why he decided now to go ahead and file this grievance is because a couple of weeks ago, when the Tennessee Titans needed a quarterback after their starting quarterback was injured, that was a style quarterback, and I'm drawing a blank of the young man's name right now for the Tennessee Titans. But that was the type of quarterback, and that the way that quarterback plays the position for the Tennessee Titans is the exact way that Colin Kaepernick plays the position. So it was an easy, you know, transition, or it would have been an easy transition. It would have been very understandable for him, for the Titans to call Colin Kaepernick and have him come in and be their quarterback until Marcus Mariota is his name, until Marcus Mariota would have came back from the injury. But he didn't even get a call. Not only did he not get a call, but his managers and his agents actually reached out to the Titans. Nothing. You're talking about a quarterback, an athletic quarterback that runs the spread offense, and out of all the different scenarios, the quarterback positions of different teams in the NFL, you could, I guess, theoretically make the argument he doesn't fit into our system. We have a more traditional system with a drop-back quarterback. We don't want a running-style quarterback. We don't run those types of plays. So theoretically, you can make that argument. There was no way you could make that argument with the Tennessee Titans in the way that Marcus Mariota plays the quarterback position. And so that was pretty much the last straw, thus the reason why he decided to file a grievance at this time. If his attorney's coming out, and it may just be talk, if his attorney's coming out and saying that they do have a smoking gun, this could be a huge, huge story if he were to win such a grievance. Rob doesn't think he's going to win it. I've had several people, I posted a story on my Facebook page, I believe it was, of the same story that I just talked about. And there's a lot of people chiming in and don't feel like that he's going to be able to win it. I don't think that he's going to be able to win it too initially. But then when you think about it, man, this guy is very calculated. He has been very careful of every move that he's made since this protest started. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. We will see. He may not have anything. His lawyers may not have anything. They may be blowing smoke up all of our behinds. But time will tell. We will see. It's very interesting to say the least. It's very interesting to say the least. And also the last thing about Colin Kaepernick, and I guess an update on that, is the protest at this point, man, it's just a popularity thing. Like there's really, what they're trying to do as far as the protest and what they initially tried to do, man, it's just taken such a left turn that it's unbelievable. It's really lost a lot of its bite. Guys are locking arms now, and really we've lost focus of the reason why Colin Kaepernick started that protest. And it was because the murdering of unarmed black men in this country. That's a lot of times called a videotape, unjust. So that's what it's all about, man. We're going to keep our eyes on this story. And obviously on the Doug Stewart Show from Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., we're going to stay on top of it all right? Yeah. All right. Let's switch it back up. Let's bring it back around, I guess is the best way to say it. Let's bring it back to more sports. When we get back from the break, we're going to talk to my man, Branden Peters, NBA beat writer, works for Slam Magazine, writes for a bunch of different publications. We're going to talk to Branden Peters about the National Basketball Association getting started again this week. Some of the big storylines. We'll get his thoughts. He's from the Bay Area on the Golden State Warriors and the Oakland Raiders. So, should be interesting. Don't go away. BP coming up next.
Faro, Jaro.
Blood up on the wall. Can you see it as the people fall from an AK-47 spraying down the hall? Oh, this screaming, this act is so inhuman. This must be living in a nightmare. Oh, yeah. If you can see what I see, yeah, we're living in a nightmare. Oh, yeah. If you can see what I see, yeah, we're living in a nightmare. Oh, yeah. If you can see what I see, yeah, we're living in a nightmare. Oh, yeah. If you can see what I see, yeah, we're living in a nightmare. My things, won't that so man, won't that so man, your dreams, my things, won't that so man. Why would you wanna be right when what's wrong is what's right? In my darkness is light, I have you shining so bright. I give you power and hoes, flashy cars and the clothes, couple pounds of this drone. If you want it, let's go, let's get this money. Money, I see you looking at the money. Money, you bowing down to this money. Money, you're doing something strange for this piece of change. We're living in a nightmare. Oh, yeah. If you can see what I see, yeah, we're living in a nightmare. Oh, yeah. If you can see what I see, yeah, we're living in a nightmare. Oh, yeah. If you can see what I see, yeah, we're living in a nightmare. Oh, yeah. If you can see what I see, yeah, we're all I see is bloodthirsty politicians, ultimate vampires, ultimate vampires, ultimate vampires, zombies and ghouls who are ruled by desire. In a world that's burning up with hellfire. Back to scene one, where the damage was done. You need to look in this mirror. Who are you running from? What have you done? What have you done? Can't wipe the blood off your hands. Smear it off if you can. Can't escape from the truth. Deep within lies of proof. The evidence is off the meter. Oh, you're as guilty as your leader. Oh. living in a nightmare. Oh yeah. If you could see what I see, yeah, we're living in a nightmare. Oh yeah. If you could see what I see, yeah, we're living in a nightmare. Oh yeah. If you could see what I see, yeah, we're living in a nightmare.
Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. This is a fantastic Freaky Funny Football Friday. Speaking of which, I'm going to give you the Funky Four, the four biggest games in the NFL. Or actually, the two biggest games in the NFL and the two biggest games in college football. That's coming up here in a second. We're also going to talk to Tom Silverstein, Milwaukee Journal Sentinel beat writer for the Packers. Want to get his thoughts on Brett Hundley, who's going to be starting for the Green Bay Packers this week. Aaron Rodgers, broken collarbone, you all know, maybe done for the year. So we're going to talk to Tom Silverstein. That should be interesting. As a matter of fact, that's coming up in about 30 minutes, so stay tuned for that. We got entertainment. I still got to give you my top 5 episodes of Sanford and Son. But right now, joining me on the line on the show is my man Branden Peters, beat writer for the NBA, Slam Magazine, amongst other publications. Branden, what's up, baby? How you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Man, I am fantastic. Clark Atlanta in the house. Clark Atlanta.
Homecoming season. You already know.
Homecoming season is upon us, man. So we're talking to Branden Peters right now, NBA writer, beat writer for Slam Magazine as well. And you're from the Bay Area. I always say Bay Area. You from Oakland, San Francisco, or where?
I'm from Oakland.
You're
Oakland
from Oakland
specifically, yes.
Yeah. So I want to get your thoughts on a couple of different things, man. The season is here. There's so many different storylines. We saw so many guys move around this summer. Carmelo goes to OKC. Paul George goes to OKC. Chris Paul to Houston. A lot of big storylines. Lonzo Ball goes to the Lakers, gets drafted to the Lakers. What do you think coming into the year is the biggest storyline of the NBA season?
I mean, I definitely think it's a tie between Kyrie going to Boston and Paul George and Carmelo going to OKC. Those were huge stories, kind of changes the dynamic of, the seeding in the playoffs, or what we think will be the seeding in the playoffs. And we want to see if these guys can gel and can how long it will take them to gel, for sure.
Yeah. Kyrie Irving goes to the Boston Celtics. Dwayne Wade goes to the Cleveland Cavaliers. I've been talking about this a lot on my show. That Cleveland Cavaliers team actually looks pretty good on paper. Health is going to be a concern. What are your thoughts? Do you think Cleveland got better or not?
I think Cleveland got deeper. I don't know if they got better per se. I think they got a lot of guys who should do something, and playing with LeBron is only going to make you better. So I want to see, Derrick Rose has a lot to prove. He looked good last year with the Knicks. I think he averaged 18 points a game, but that was playing for nothing. How is it when the lights are on?
Yeah. What about Boston? Kyrie Irving now gets the opportunity. And give me your thoughts on that whole thing and how it went down. Kyrie, in effect, wanted to get away from LeBron and kind of make his own way. What are your thoughts about that move in general?
To me, it was a business decision to an extent. I just think it's interesting that he goes from a situation where he was the little brother to now he's in Boston, to where, as far as other than Horford, he's kind of like the vet on the team, because you got Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, who are going to have to contribute big time with Gordon Hayward getting hurt. So let's see how he can be a leader and if he's going to be that point guard that he says he wants to be.
Talking to Branden Peters right now, beat writer for the NBA, Slam Magazine, several publications.
Pro Day, don't forget, that's the 9to5 ProDay.co. We don't just stick to sports. Pro Day Media, startup backed by the LA Dodgers, man. We doing big things over there as well. So that's kind of what I'm curating and pulling the strings on now.
So that's proday.co.
Yes, proday.co. Yeah.
Proday.co as well.com on the Doug Stewart Show. Last night, the Oklahoma City Thunder, man, in their first game of the year, home game, they hosted the New York Knicks. Big win for them. Russell Westbrook continues doing what Russell Westbrook does, has another triple-double in game 1 of the season. Carmelo Anthony, another big story from this summer was Carmelo Anthony going to OKC. Do you think that this will be a team that can at least threaten, make it a game, make it into a conversation, your home city Golden State Warriors?
I mean, they can be. We just got to see if they can play unselfish ball. Like, I watched a couple quarters of the game, and it was still a lot of ISO ball, but it takes a second to gel. And Ryan's Knicks was looking all right there for about a quarter. Right. They were looking good for about a quarter. But, I mean, I feel like because they were playing the Knicks, Russell was letting Melo do his thing, and I think Melo started the game 1 for 7, so he wasn't looking that great. But, I mean, to me, they need a bench. Secondly, they got to figure out how to share the ball. Like, we know good and well if Russell wasn't giving up them shots to KD, he ain't going to give them up to Paul George or Carmelo. And then beyond that, it's kind of got to be a little scary for them that Russ is your leading rebounder, man. You playing Steven Adams a lot of money. That's a big boy. Right. And Russ got 10 rebounds and he's the leading rebounder. That ain't good.
Yeah. What about your Golden State Warriors, man? Dominating fashion last year. They win the NBA championship after, giving up a 4 or 3 games to 1 lead the year before. But now they just look so dominant. The biggest favorite in Vegas history, in NBA history, out of Las Vegas for them to repeat this year. What are your thoughts? Try not to be too biased about the Golden State Warriors in this commentary, bro.
I'm the harshest critic and the biggest supporter. So, that cancels out all bias. At the end of the day, man, barring an injury to Steph Curry or Draymond Green in the playoffs, they're not going to lose. Like, it's the deepest team. I think Ron Artest said what was probably the most poignant thing I've heard about this team. He was like, they're 3 years ahead of everybody else. Like, period. Because we've never really seen in this era superstar players come in and play team ball. Like, they play team unselfish ball. Like, you ain't never seen a 2-time MVP and NBA champion be like, okay, KD, I'm going to let you do your thing. You know what I mean? We don't see that. We need Iguodala back for sure, because everybody was screaming the praises of Nick Young, a.k.a. Swaggy P. And I'm like, bruh, he got P.J. Tucker out there looking like Rasheed Wallace and Tim Duncan had a kid. Right. Like, dude, you play some defense. My God, you about 12 dudes on this team that can hit open jump shots. That ain't nothing.
Right. Finishing up with Branden Peters right now, the Doug Stewart Show on a fantastic, freaky, funny Football Friday. Speaking of football, I'd be remiss if I didn't get your thoughts on the Raiders. They get a big win last night, had been struggling over the last couple of weeks. Derek Carr now healthy. Marshawn Lynch rushes out to the field, gets into the skirmish. I want to know, do you still have your ears to the streets? Like, what's the relationship and why so much, I don't know, emotion from Marshawn Lynch for Marcus Peters last night?
They're homeboys.
Yeah.
They're friends. Marcus Peters is from West Oakland. Like, they're friends. So I don't even think it was all of that. I just think it was one of them plays where they didn't appreciate how Carr got hit. And, Marshawn got beside himself, touched the referee. We know how that go. You touch the referee, you out of the game. The funniest thing is he didn't leave the stadium. Right. Like, his pictures all over Twitter of him in the stands, chilling, like with the mask on and the hoodie on. I'm like, that's you, bro.
Yeah. What do you
gotta love Sean, though.
You got him, man. What do you think about the team? That was a big win for them last night against a team that was undefeated just a couple of weeks ago. What are your thoughts about the Raiders? And also, let me get a little quick commentary on the Raiders going to Vegas.
Man, honestly, bro, between the cap thing and them pushing him out and the Raiders, Al Davis's son, I don't even say his name, Al Davis's son pulling that BS and moving the team when there was already a deal on the table in Oakland that would have provided them with a new stadium. I just wasn't feeling that at all, man. So honestly, this is probably since they've moved back to Oakland, this is probably the least amount that I've paid attention, period, between those two reasons. I just think it was a faulty move. Like, I want them guys to do well, man. I love Derek Carr. Obviously, big Marshawn fan, real cool, solid dude from the town. But I just wasn't feeling it. And I think from the little bit I've seen, man, there is no dominant team in the NFL. It's anybody's game this year. And I think part of that has to do with the fact that so many people, even players, are not solely focusing on football because there's so many other things that honestly are more important that are going on.
Yeah. All right. So once again, give us the website where people can find you online, an email, everything, man, that they can reach Branden Peters.
So proday.co, proday.co is the website. We don't just stick to sports, man. You'll like a lot of the stuff that's on there. Also, you know, I do a podcast every week called Day One Radio. You can always find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, all that stuff. And finally, I do an event every week, me and my team, called Hip Hop Trivia ATL. We've won, I think, Best Trivia in Atlanta 2 years in a row from Creative Loafing, and we will be taking it to other parts of the country very soon. So, man, I'm just out here grinding, man. I'm out here trying to get like you, bro. I need a home studio, too.
Yeah. Hey, that's what's up. Hey, Branden, man, appreciate you, folk. Thanks for the time.
Salute. Much love, brother.
There he is, Branden Peters on the Doug Stewart Show. When we get back from the break, man, we're going to keep it moving, talking football. Let's talk to Tom Silverstein from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel about the Packers. All right, so some good stuff coming up as well. Don't go away. This is the Doug Stewart Show.
Beautiful, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Beautiful dreamers, wake up and see. Oh, you're a slave in this dream world, thinking you're free. Oh, how long will you slumber? Why niggas die in these streets? Beautiful dreamers, wake up from this nightmare. You're so unaware of the lions, leopards, and bears. Listen up for prayer for our children, let's pray for our children that's dying out there. Who fathers in prison and mothers addicted to clubbing in hell. Wake up, my people, as you see what's going on. You beautiful dreamers, wake up from your sleep. You've been asleep for way too long. Wake up from this matrix made to enslave us, learn how to hate it. Teachers, please teach us. Leaders, please lead us. This world, it needs you. You beautiful dreamers. Beautiful dreamers. Wake up and see. Oh, yeah. Oh, you're a slave in this dream world. Thinking you're free. How long will you slumber? Oh, how long will you slumber? Why niggas die in these streets? Beautiful dreamers, wake up. Open your eyes, open your eyes. This light to see through the darkness first hurts the eyes, but you gotta keep looking.
Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. On a fantastic, freaky, funny Football Friday. Branden Peters mentioned it, but the show is based in Metro Atlanta. So he's doing and has done a lot of big things. We used to talk to him on the show back in the day, the Two Live Stews. So real good stuff. Thank you to Branden Peters from proday.co as well as Slam Magazine. But right now, let's move it back to football entirely. And let's talk to Tom Silverstein, beat writer for the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel on the Doug Stewart Show. Tom, good morning. How are you doing, sir?
Good morning. Doing great. Great, thanks.
Listen, we wanted to have you on to talk about, obviously, some major events went down in Green Bay this past weekend where Aaron Rodgers broke his collarbone. Do you have I guess, the latest news on that injury, and what can we expect as far as time to heal, and maybe we see Aaron Rodgers back this year?
Well, he had surgery yesterday to repair the broken collarbone. He posted a picture of it on Instagram, confirming that he had it. It was done out of town. We don't know who the surgeon was who repaired it. But it looked like it was, what I saw on the bandages, it looked like it was up probably in the middle of the collarbone. And assuming they probably put a plate in there to secure it and try to help it heal a little bit faster. But what we don't know is whether there's really a chance for him to come back this year. And according to Mike McCarthy this morning, they're still evaluating that. My guess is that whether they put him on injured reserve or they keep him on the roster, there's still probably a remote chance he could come back. But I don't know if anyone's counting on that. I think right now their frame of thought is that Huntley's their quarterback and they're going with him as far as they can go.
I guess let me kind of gauge the angst of Packers fans and people in that city. He already had a shoulder injury before on the other arm, but this is obviously a different case now that it's his throwing arm. Health-wise, like, is he being talked about as being, I guess, fragile as far as a quarterback, or is this just one of those things that just happened to happen?
Well, I don't think you could constitute it as being fragile. I mean, he got slammed pretty good by Anthony Barr into the ground. It's the same thing that happened to him on the other side, what was it, 4 years ago in 2013. And that's the only major time he's ever missed was 13 and this year. So otherwise, he's been pretty healthy. I think it was just a contact injury. And, it's got to be something to watch because it's his throwing shoulder, throwing side. It isn't to his shoulder, so I don't know that affects his throwing motion, but we'll see. It's something that I'm sure he's going to have to work on and stay on top of.
Talking to Tom Silverstein, Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel on the Doug Stewart Show on a fantastic Freaky Funny Football Friday. All right, so you guys' record is 4-2 right now. Before this injury, you had won 3 games in a row. Everybody was saying the Packers probably one of the top 1 or 2 teams in the NFC. Brett Hundley now is the quarterback of the Packers after the injury to Aaron Rodgers. This is his 3rd year in the league, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong. And so he's been able to sit behind and watch one of the best quarterbacks of all times. I always say the best quarterback in football today. What can you tell people outside of Green Bay and that follow this team day in and day out about Brett Hundley on why you're kind of skeptical or why you feel like he may be able to get it done?
Well, I don't know that anybody knows how he's going to do because he's only had 82 NFL snaps, regular season snaps. So you don't know until a guy gets out there and plays every day. There's reasons to be skeptical. He's not been great in the preseason. He's had some injury issues. He missed practically all of the 2016 training camp with an ankle injury. He played quite a bit this year. Was okay. Wasn't spectacular. Had a decent numbers, but just wasn't spectacular like you would have expected given he was playing with the starters because Aaron Rodgers hardly played at all. So, there's some question about his accuracy. He's a mobile quarterback. He's really smart. I think he understands the offense completely, but he's also coming from pretty much a spread college offense where he didn't line up under center at all. Now, it's been 3 years. He's had 2+ years of working in the system and working on footwork and all of that. So I think it's really going to come down to whether they can find out, or how quickly they find out what it is are his strengths and weaknesses, and then tailoring the offense to that.
How Mike McCarthy made the comments about, not bringing in other quarterbacks, and they were going to go with Brett Hundley. But immediately after the injury to Aaron Rodgers, you started hearing rumblings about them giving a call to Tony Romo, a guy from the state of Wisconsin. I even heard Brett Favre talk, who's at 48 years of age. And then there was some talk about Colin Kaepernick because he's also from the state of Wisconsin. How viable was any of that talk, or do you think that the Packers always were going to go with Brett Hundley if there was a need be for a backup quarterback?
Well, immediately after the game, when they knew that Rodgers had the broken collarbone, McCarthy was clear that Hundley was the guy he was going with. I mean, they spent a lot of energy and time in grooming him for this position. I mean, they spent a draft pick on him. They thought they got kind of a steal with him. They have been preparing him for this moment, and I think McCarthy did not want to show at this point any lack of confidence in Hundley. I think it was important that he stand by Hundley and say it's his team and everyone on the team needs to follow him, that he has total confidence in Hundley and that's who they're going to go with. Now, from a backup standpoint, you went with Joe Callahan, which is a little bit of a risky move. I mean, he's a guy who's been in the system for over about a year and a half and also knows the system really well, has played a lot in the preseason. Just, he's undersized, and you wonder whether he's overmatched a little bit. But I think the big thing was that McCarthy wanted to show complete confidence in Hundley and not create a situation where people were asking for someone else or clamoring for another quarterback. I think they are totally committed to Brett Hundley finishing out the year.
Saints come to town taking on the Packers this coming weekend, 1 p.m. kickoff on Fox. Saints actually a 3-point favorite on the road in Green Bay, historically one of the hardest places to play. What do you think is going to be the game plan going in for Hundley? Do you think that they're going to, you kind of mentioned it a little bit just now, do you think that they're going to kind of like pace him real slow to come out, or do you think they just come out and just go for it and he, continues with the same pace of the offense that they've used this year?
Well, they're not going to change, a lot of the plays or the way they play offense. It's gonna remain the same. It's just that they're going to call plays that fit Hundley's strengths. So there's a lot of routes that Rodgers can throw that other quarterbacks can't throw, and that's just it's probably the same with Tom Brady. There's certain throws that he can make that no other quarterback can make. And the timing and the accuracy. So you can't ask Brett Hundley to do the same thing you asked Aaron Rodgers to do. The whole offense was geared around Aaron Rodgers and all the things that he can do. So now they have to do it to Hundley. Might need paring things down, but it's also identifying drills, plays that Hundley is comfortable with and can make, and eliminating the plays that he can't make.
Wow.
Some of those are probably, he can't make the same running on-the-move throws that Aaron Rodgers can make. That's just not possible because only a few guys in the league can make those kind of plays. But he is athletic, and he can scramble, and he does have a strong arm. They just have to figure out what the routes are, combinations, things like that he's really good at.
Awesome. Hey, Tom Silverstein from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
You're welcome.
There he is, Tom Silverstein right there on the Doug Stewart Show. We're going to take a quick little break, and when we get back, more football talk. I'm going to give you the Funky Four, the 4 biggest games in football this weekend. Plus, I got to continue with the little Fred Sanford little conversation that we've had today. A lot of fun going on the Doug Stewart Show. Don't go away. Back in 3 minutes.
Look into your eyes.
Pits and the paths of me running away. Echoes of your voice fading away. Reaching out far as my soul slips away into empty space.
I need you to run to me. I need you to run to me. I need you to run to me. I need you to run to me.
Drips and the drops of the tears down my cheek. Rays of your light that was sent to guide me. Stillness of your voice leading to peace. Crying out to me.
I need you to run to me. I need you to run to me. I need you to run to me. I need you to run to me. I need you to run to me. I need you to run to me. I need you to run to me. I need you to run to me.
Here
Need you to
I
run,
can
need you to
spit
run,
down,
run. I need you to run,
Here
need you
I
to
can
run,
spit
need you to
down,
run. I need you to run, I need you to run, need you to run. I need you to run, I need you to run, I need you to run. I need you to run, no run.
run to you. I'm running to you. I'm running to you. I'm running.
Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Oh, boy.
Pits and the paths of me running.
Yeah, we're going to talk to recording artist Pedi from House of Fly. It's coming up in about 15 minutes, so stay tuned for that. This is a fantastic, freaky, funny Football Friday. You hear Pedi, House of Fly in the background. So that's coming up in about 15 minutes, so stay tuned. And we're going to talk to comedian Christopher Columbus later on today on the show. Do your boy a favor. And I know I ask a lot of you, but Lord knows I have to. Make sure that you hit the share button, okay? Hit the share button for your boy, man. We really would appreciate it, and spread the love and the gift of the Doug Stewart Show. We really would appreciate it. So this weekend, man, obviously football is precedent. A couple of big games in college football and in the NFL. So I'm going to give you the 4 biggest games total. 2 from college, 2 from the NFL. How about this? The Michigan Wolverines on the road taking on the Penn State Nittany Lions. That's right. Second-ranked Penn State rested from being off last week. The Lions 6-0, 3-0 in the Big Ten. Begin a season-defining 3-week stretch by hosting number 19 Michigan on Saturday night. All right. Lions running back Saquon Barkley, the FBS leader in all-purpose yards per game at 217, has emerged as a Heisman Trophy candidate, and quarterback Trace McSorley has also played pretty decent. Saturday's game, however, is looming. And so Michigan, man, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, ABC. The Michigan Wolverines are a 9.5-point underdog. That's right. Real tough play from them and their quarterback over the last couple of weeks, and Penn State has just blown doors. James Franklin, the head coach of Penn State, man, has been doing a phenomenal job. So in Happy Valley, 9.5-point spread. Penn State favored against Michigan. That's game number 1 in the Funky Four this coming weekend. Game number 2, college football, is the Southern Cal Trojans taking on the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. That's right. Wow. With a combined 22 national championships and 14 Heisman Trophy winners between the programs, the USC-Notre Dame rivalry is hardcore and is back to being a real rivalry. These teams have off and on struggled over the last couple of years. Both teams ended Saturday's matchup at Notre Dame Stadium ranked in the top 25 for the first time since 2009, which is incredible when you're talking about these two legendary programs once again. And the game is college football playoff implications as well. The 89th installment of the series looks to be more benefiting its lofty history than in recent past games. Last year's rain-soaked 45-27 USC win at LA Memorial Coliseum ended with the future of Notre Dame football uncertain at the time, as head coach Brian Kelly fielded questions about possibly being fired as the coach of Notre Dame. But such was not the case. He is back this year for the Irish. Quarterback Sam Darnold said the Trojans wouldn't be able to win that game without defense, and talking about the game against Utah this past weekend. So, once again, in Notre Dame, in South Bend, the Irish are a 3.5-point favorite. That's at 7:30 p.m. NBC. You know, Notre Dame got their own deal, their own network deal. So, Southern Cal, man, this is a big one. Once again, both teams doing very good. Both teams ranked in the top 25. Notre Dame coming in at number 13 and USC coming in at number 11. And so Notre Dame favored in this one by 3.5. That's game number 2 of my Funky Four. Top 10 in college football this week. Oklahoma State at number 10. Number 9, Oklahoma. Miami, number 8, after a big win last week over Georgia Tech. Number 7, Clemson, the Tigers, after the tough loss last week against Syracuse, still in the running at 6-1. Ohio State at number 6. Number 5, Wisconsin. Number 4, TCU. Number 3, the Georgia Bulldogs, who have been playing phenomenally this year, in my opinion. My brother would disagree. But them Georgia Bulldogs looking damn good. Kirby Smart got them playing great, especially defensively. And coming in at number 2 is Penn State, and number 1 is the Alabama Crimson Tide. Game number 3 in my Funky Four, the 4 biggest games this weekend in football, college and pro. And we just talked to Tom Silverstein from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. The New Orleans Saints on the road taking on the Green Bay Packers. Looking forward to that. The Saints right now 3-2, been playing real good football over the last couple of weeks as they go on the road to Green Bay to take on the Packers. The big story is no Aaron Rodgers. Green Bay is going to come in with Brett Hundley, the third-year quarterback drafted out of UCLA, has only taken 82 snaps, as Tom Silverstein just reminded us. Packers are -4. Actually, it's gone from 3 to 4, or +4, actually. Getting 4 points. Saints 4-point favorite in this game. 1 p.m. kickoff on Fox. The New Orleans Saints taking on the Green Bay Packers. And the big game that I'm waiting for and looking forward to this weekend is the Atlanta Falcons on the road taking on the vaunted, hated New England stinking ass Patriots. That's right. If you're new to the show, man, I don't like the Patriots. I don't like anything they stand for. I don't like the fact that they've been, fined close to $2 million under the Bill Belichick era. I don't like the fact that Tom Brady got his assistants and trainers deflating footballs and whatnot. I don't like the fact that they got Spygate. I don't like none of that. I think everything comes into question over the last 15 years of what they've done on the field, talking about the stinking ass New England Patriots. Period. And you're watching the Doug Stewart Show, all right? So Patriots pulled off the greatest comeback in the history of the game last year in the Super Bowl when the Falcons came back and were stunned by a 34-28 game, the fifth championship of Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. Once again, we don't know how many of those were gained by cheating. Let me say this. I am guaranteeing you, I am almost guaranteeing you, don't hold me to it. I am almost guaranteeing you that within the next 10 years, we are going to find out the Patriots had the Falcons playbook in that damn game. There was no way they were supposed to come back from a 25-point lead. Period. That's right. I'm one of them guys. I'm one of those guys. That's right. I am one of those guys. I truly believe that. It ain't supposed to happen. And it still hurts. And I'm not even from Atlanta. I'm not the biggest Falcon fan in the world. I support the team. I want them to win. But that still bothers me what happened in that Super Bowl last year. So now you're just rehashing the whole thing with the Patriots hosting the Falcons. Matt Ryan and his Falcons dropping their second straight to fall to 3-2 last week after losing to Buffalo. And then last week losing to the Miami Dolphins. 3-2 on the year, both to AFC teams that you thought they were better than. Patriots cornerbacks Stephon Gilmore, concussion, and Eric Rowe growing. Both missed practice this past week, so that's kind of a good thing. I don't wish injury on anybody, but that's going to help the Falcons' cause this week. And Atlanta kicker Matt Bryant is still dealing with a back issue, all right? So the Falcons on the road taking on the New England Patriots. The Patriots haven't been playing like gangbusters this year, so this is going to be a good game, 8:30 p.m. on NBC. It's the late game on Sunday night, so Falcons repeat of the Super Bowl. Falcons on the road, though, this time taking on the New England Patriots. That's your Funky Four. That is your Funky Four. The four biggest games in football this weekend, or the four most interesting games in football this weekend. Quickly, let me give you another entrant on my top 5 list of top 5 Sanford and Son episodes of all times. Coming in at number 5 was the card game episode. Very funny. Coming in at number 4 was the JoJo Jackson episode where he wanted to kill Lamont for messing with his gal. And coming in at number 3 on the top 5 episodes of Sanford and Son of all times, number 3 is the Blind Mellow Jelly episode. I want my daddy records back. Right. So you know what happened in this episode. Fred sold these albums that he had stored away for like the last 50 years from this legendary jazz blues artist, I believe, Blind Mellow Jelly. And come to find out that the records were worth a lot of money, like $5,000. $5,000 back in 1971 was the equivalent to, I don't know, $350,000 today. And so Fred sold them to like the Salvation Army place and found out that they were worth all of this money. So he and Bubba came up with this harebrained scheme idea to go back and get the records. And Bubba portrayed to be the grandson of the recording artist on the records, the great Blind Mellow Jelly. Phenomenal episode. That's coming in at number 3 on my list. All right. When we get back from the break, we're going to keep it moving on the Doug Stewart Show. We're going to talk to music artist Pedi from House of Fly. You hear the music in the background. Yeah. Funky Cats. Right. Funky Cats. We kind of switched it up a little bit. we've been like featuring rappers over the last couple of weeks, the first couple of weeks of the show. So we flipped it a little bit, man. I don't even know what you would classify this as. Almost like alternative, urban, R&B. Yeah, real jazzy stuff. So we're going to talk to recording artist Pedi coming up next on the Doug Stewart Show. Don't go away.
Look into your eyes. All I saw was fear. Chasing me till you be running away.
Our love goes hand in the mountaintop. Oh, our love it soars wider than expanding space. There's no limits no more. It goes deeper than the ocean floor. Now these people know don't matter no more. Cause when I'm with you, love, you set my heart on fire. You told me don't worry, you know my heart's desires. Oh, there is no love like you, there is none better. There is no life without you. Oh, I'm so in love with you, love, love with you, love with you, I am. Oh, I'm so in love with you, love, love with you, love with you, I am. Hello, hello, V-E love, hello, hello, V-E love. To the way I feel when I'm lost inside you. I just lose track of time. Thank God I found you. Promise to love you forever and ever. No sickness and health, through the worst or the better. Oh, there is no love like you. There is none better. There is no life without you. Oh, I'm so in love with you, love, love with you, love with you, I am.
Welcome back to the show. Yeah. You are rocking with the realest, realest sports and guy talk show in America. This is the Doug Stewart Show. Make sure you share this episode on Facebook Live and on YouTube Live. We really would appreciate it. And can you contribute to the show? Can you help us keep the lights on? I mean, I'm joking and everything, but I'm not really joking. Right. Can you help us have running water around this piece? We really would appreciate it, man. You'll see a graphic on the screen how you can contribute to the Doug Stewart Show through PayPal. And we really would appreciate that, man. 404-822-5467. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com on this fantastic, freaky, funny Football Friday. I'm going to read more of your messages here in the chat room. I'm going to read more of your messages here in the chat room from Facebook Live and YouTube Live. We are set to have music artist Prince Pedi from House of Fly coming up in about 15 minutes. I think I may have mentioned that we were going to have him on this segment. So we're going to have him on in about 15 minutes. I'm going to get to some of your messages here in the chat. But first, let me jump back to my list of top 5 favorite episodes of Sanford and Son of all times. Shut up. I like talking about Sanford and Son. Whatever. Studio audience. I got to get me a new studio audience around here. Coming in at number 5 was the card game episode. Coming in at number 4 was the JoJo Jackson episode. That's how he said it. That's how Grady said it. JoJo Jackson. You fight JoJo Jackson, you're going to die. Coming in at number 3 was the Blind Mellow Jelly episode. Coming in at number 2 was the Big Grip episode. Big Money Grip. Yeah. And like I said earlier, man, these things are very interchangeable, man. But coming in at number 2 is the Big Money Grip episode. I think his name was Grip Madlock from Fred's hometown of St. Louis, came to town and in effect said that Lamont Sanford was his son. That's what he told Esther. Lamont Sanford is my son. Right. And he told Fred, he told Esther that he had been with Elizabeth when Fred was off to war or something like that. And he snuck into her room. And if you go back and you do the math, Fred was out to sea or something. And Elizabeth was messing around with Big Money Grip. And come to find out that Big Money Grip actually snuck into Esther's room. Right. So Big Money Grip got his rooms mixed up when he came in the middle of the night, and whoever this person was, they left the window or a door open for him or whatever. And he came in and he thought he was in Elizabeth's room, which is Fred's deceased wife, but he was actually in Esther's room. Lamont is my son. And Fred says, no, Grip. You were in Esther's room. And if you know the whole storyline behind Esther and the fact that she's quote unquote this ugly person, so ugly, Fred would take some dough and get her face and make gorilla cookies. You know the laughter and the funniness and all of that. So coming in at number 2 is the Big Money Grip episode. Yeah. Yeah. From Leonard D in the chat room on Facebook Live and YouTube Live, he says, lack of focus because of real life-ish. Interesting. Trump even effing up football quality. Not exactly sure what he's talking about. From Rodney G says, Doug, you should have added Branden Peterson to the Two Live Stews network. For people that don't know, we actually have a radio network where we have close to like 13 or 14 different shows on the network outside of mine. So mine is I guess you would call it anchor show, Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern time. Then on Thursday, you have my brother that does the Ryan Stewart Show for an hour, which yesterday was crazy if you listened to yesterday. If you didn't listen to yesterday's episode of the Ryan Stewart Show, that may have been the best episode that he's done. I think he's up to 13 episodes now. He only does it one day a week for an hour. And yesterday it just went awry. It did. He brought up some old stuff from 25 years ago in a fight, and a dude didn't help me get, fight where I was getting my ass kicked. It's a long story. I'm not going to get into it. But yesterday was a great episode. We also have the #1 Chief Rocker Vern from Jersey show, who we had on earlier today. We've got the Kicking It with Kesey show. We've got the Rude Dog show, Rudy Reyes, coming to you from Fullerton, California. The Wait a Minute show, the Marcus Harper show. So there's a bunch of shows on the network for the 2 Live Stews. It's the number 2, livestewsradio.com. You can go back after this show on Facebook and YouTube and go to 2livestewsradio.com, and you'll see all the different podcasts and previous episodes of the show. So a lot of fun around here all week long, once again, on 2livestewsradio.com. We might need to holler at BP. And we may need to holler at BP and see if we can make that happen. He actually does a podcast, as he mentioned in the interview. And I think he would be a good fit, man. We can get a little West Coast flavor, him being from Oakland. That might be a good fit for real. So I'm going to follow up on that. Good idea, Rodney G. From Sidney J, he says, Cleveland starters outscored Golden State starters in the finals. The Cavs can find any way to rest LeBron and not give up a big lead. The Cavs can beat Golden State. I think the whole key about the Cavs is staying healthy and keeping Dwayne Wade fresh. I keep wanting to say, whenever I say Dwayne Wade, I want to say Dwayne Wade from a different world. But the whole key is keeping Dwayne Wade fresh, as well as keeping Derrick Rose injury-free. Like, if they can, sustain health throughout this season and make it to the playoffs with a full roster intact, Dwayne Wade's knees not bothering him, Derrick Rose's knees not being an issue, man, I think they could beat Golden State because they got that veteranism about themselves. You talking about those 3 guys in general. Derrick Rose may not have won an NBA championship, but Derrick Rose was a league MVP. So you could say one of probably the best basketball players to ever step on the court. Dwayne Wade, several-time champion in the NBA. LeBron James's history. So those guys have just played so much basketball, so much international basketball, man, that they're going to be a formidable opponent. And they're going to veteranism, I guess, the Golden State Warriors. Golden State, in relative terms, man, still got a bunch of young players. Now, they played a lot of basketball. They played a lot of championship basketball. A lot of people argue that they're the best basketball team of all times from top to bottom, the greatest shooting team of all times, backcourt shooting team of all times. But they're still fairly young in relative terms in comparison to Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, and Derrick Rose is right about the same age, but maybe a little bit older. If you're talking about the group of Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, and Draymond Green and those guys, and Durant. Durant's been around a while. But outside of Durant, the rest of those guys, man, they're a little bit younger than Derrick Rose. So, yeah, I think if they can make it to the end of the season healthy, man, that a lot of, things are going to come into play. A lot of intangible things are going to come into play that might make a series between the Cavs and the Warriors, 3rd time in a row, be very, very, very interesting. So we're definitely going to keep our eyes on that. From Tiffany Sports and Heels, if we donate $20 today, can we skip the subscription for 5 months asking for a friend? Yes, you can. Now, okay. Now, we actually would prefer that you subscribe and donate. But I mean, that's fine. That's fine. Man, anything that you can donate, anything that you can contribute to the show, we would appreciate it, man. If you don't have a good time around here, then, I'd be shocked. Let's put it like that. But we do this 60 hours a month, man, 3 days or 3 hours every Friday on Facebook Live and YouTube Live, man. So it's sports talk, guy talk, interesting talk like nowhere else, all right? And so if you can contribute, we really appreciate it. Shouts out to the folks that donated and contributed last week. Willie D, Tyrone B, thank you very much. All right. So when we get back from the show, let's get back to the actual show. Music artist, House of Fly. Lead vocalist, Prince Pedi, coming up next on the show. Fantastic, freaky, funny Football Friday. The realest, trillest sports and guy talk show in America, the Doug Stewart Show. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Wake up from your sleep. Oh, you've been sleeping for far too long.
Y'all can't mess with us. Y'all can't mess with us. Y'all can't mess with us. Can't mess with us. Got on the side. Yeah, we got that light in the building. No, we ain't gon' hide. Yeah, we got that fire, so don't try us. 'Cause we SBL, and we ain't gon' die. Can't mess with us. Can't mess with us. Y'all can't mess with us. Got on the side. Yeah, we got that light in the building. No, we ain't gon' hide. Yeah, we got that fire, so don't try us. 'Cause we SBL, and we ain't gon' die. Can't mess with us. Can't mess with us. So don't try us.
Who you think that you is?
Who you think you are?
Trying to step to this.
I don't do it.
Think that you gon' do this.
Say what?
Mess around and lose it. You told me I'm nothing at all. You telling me that I won't make it at all. So try, just gonna stumble and fall. We're bringing the fight, me and y'all bringing the war. I looked into your eyes, all I saw was fear. Chasing me, soon you be running away.
Can't mess with us. Got on the side. Yeah, we got that light in the building. No, we ain't gon' hide. Yeah, we got that fire, so don't try us. 'Cause we SBL, and we ain't gon' die. Can't mess with us. Can't mess with us.
Y'all can't mess with us.
Got on the side. Yeah, we got that light in the building. No, we ain't gon' hide. Yeah, we got that fire, so don't try us. 'Cause we SBL, and we ain't gon' die. Can't mess with us. Can't mess with us. So don't try us.
While we going through this,
Boy, don't waste my time.
can't you see it's useless?
I said don't do it.
Please don't make me prove it.
Say what?
I'm about to lose it. Regretting that you ever stepped to me. Your weapons, your guns, they ain't no match for me.
I told you.
I cut out your tongue for speaking that blasphemy. Look at this crown and roll with your majesty.
Shut out.
Now you're gonna hide, lost within your fear. Just like I promised you, running away.
Running away.
Running away.
Running away.
Got on the side. Yeah, we got that light in the building. No, we ain't gon' hide. Yeah, we got that fire, so don't try us. 'Cause we SBL.
Welcome back to the show. Fantastic, freaky, funny Football Friday. House of Fly coming up here in a second, man. Hey, listen, if you're a company out there and you like to advertise with the Doug Stewart Show, and to the listeners and to the watchers of the Doug Stewart Show on Facebook Live and YouTube Live in particular on Fridays, email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. That's doug@thedougstewartshow.com. We've got some rate sheets up where we can do 30-second ads. We can do 60-second ads, recorded advertising. We can also, post up some graphics of your company or your product on the show, as well as ad placement. Like if you're, say, an energy drink or whatever, man, you got an energy drink, and we can actually post it up on the screen and have our viewers to watch it. So many opportunities to advertise on the Doug Stewart Show on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. And so just email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com, and let's do some business. All right, 404-822-5467. We're about to get our folks from House of Fly on the line. Very unique artists, and listening to them and playing their music on my show for the last couple of months. And so looking forward to talking to them about their sound and their background a little bit coming up here in a second on this fantastic, freaky, funny Football Friday. If you heard the show yesterday, I mentioned how my brother did his show on the network yesterday, and he brought up some real tragic stuff that happened 25 years ago, where I got jumped by these dudes at this nightclub and getting stomped to death. And one of my homeboys I saw at the corner of my eyes was watching me get my ass kicked. And so it wasn't a good thing. And he put the guy on blast, and now it's creating all types of problems. I'm getting emails from people, wanting to find out more about this story. And it was 25 freaking years ago. Let it go. Let it go. It's just really a problem. And my brother, man, he can't darn hold water. And I should have known better. He asked me to write down the name of the person. I didn't even want to bring up the guy's name. This came from a conversation about the two Bulls players, Nikolai Mirotic and Bobby Portis, getting into a fight this week. So I asked him, you talk about the most memorable sports fight that you've seen of all times. And he started talking about this fight he played at Georgia Tech that him and his teammates at Georgia Tech had with the football players from Georgia, once again, like 25 years ago. And so to relate, I talked about something kind of about the same thing. I got jumped at this nightclub, and my brother, I told him in confidence, and he just blurted out the dude's name. Just a real bad look. Hey, Pedi, can I get you to rotate your phone a little bit like that? I think we have recording artists. There he is. That's perfect. Are we ready to go? Ready to go, Rob? Yes, we are. All right. So joining us right now on the show is recording artist Prince Pedi from House of Fly. Prince Pedi, how are you doing today, brother?
Good. I'm blessed. Just happy to be on here with you.
Yeah. So we are talking to recording artist Prince Pedi on the Doug Stewart Show. On the Two Live Shoes Radio Network. Do we have him up yet? I think we do have him up. There we go. We're trying to get the camera straight, and this is live TV or Facebook Live or what have you. And so we're getting everything set to talk to Prince Pedi right now from House of Fly. We have featured their music for many, many months on the show. Prince Pedi, are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Hey, good morning to you, brother. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm blessed, man.
Hey, so thank you for coming on. I don't know if you know, we have a mutual friend, Kesey, and he presented me with you and your wife's music many, many months ago, man, and we've been playing it on the show. What would you characterize your music as? Like, what genre? Is it R&B? Is it urban? I almost feel like it's a little bit alternative as well. I hear some spiritual aspects to it. Talk about your music in general.
It's definitely alternative in the sound. It's pretty eclectic as far as what instruments that we use. We just don't use the average urban instruments. We grew up listening to everything. Also, my wife couldn't make it. She works at the School of the Deaf. So she's on her superhero mission right now, working with these kids.
No problem.
But it's definitely alternative. A lot of what we're talking about is has spiritual undertones, social undertones. It's just about solution, man, and making great music that pretty much everyone can rock with.
Talking to Prince Pedi right now from House of Fly on the Doug Stewart Show on this fantastic, freaky, funny Football Friday. So House of Fly is a musical collective formed by husband and wife duo Prince Pedi and Taj Unique, his wife, filled with biblical, spiritual themes as well. How long have you guys been at it? How long has House of Fly been, quote unquote, a group?
For about 6 years. Yep. We've been married for 5. We were doing music we've been together for 7 years, but we started about six years ago.
Are both of you from the Atlanta area? Where are you from originally?
Ohio. I'm from Cleveland, and my wife is from Toledo.
Interesting you say that. My wife is from Lorain, Ohio. Are you familiar with that?
Yeah. West of Cleveland.
Yeah. So how long have you been in Atlanta, and was the reason that you guys chose Atlanta to live, is it because of the music scene? What preempted the move from Ohio to Atlanta? Or give me the road to getting here.
It wasn't necessarily music that brought us here. We're very mission oriented. So we were working with a group of people that were actually working on this thing called the Black Belt, which is a part of America that has Black people living in third world conditions. So we were coming out to help out with that. And because we're into music, we were able to go to like little open mic scenes and, perform around there, and end up getting, a whole lot of shows, ended up hooking up with some really good producers, which are our producer now, Jafari. We met him when we came down here.
Talking to Prince Pedi right now on the Doug Stewart Show. As we've talked about, man, your whole vibe is kind of spiritual, kind of holistic. Who are some of your inspirations in music?
Definitely like Lauryn Hill, Bob Marley. Who else? Right now, I would say like Kendrick, J. Cole's. Anybody who really are solution oriented. I could rock out with anything, but my inspirations would be those individuals.
Yeah, you mentioned Lauryn Hill. We actually featured her music a couple of weeks ago on the show, and people just really, like the younger generation, I wish they would go back and listen to a lot of her music, man. She was just super, super talented, man, and your music as well is very, very deep. Good stuff, man. What's the future for House of Fly? Like, what are you guys working on right now? Where do you see yourself from 5 years from now? Where do you want to be at 5 years from now?
Well, within the next couple, we're looking to put out a new project. House of Fly is growing. As far as House of Fly is never just about me and my wife. It's about a bigger movement. We have my brother, my sister. I have a couple cousins. Our family does music, so you're going to soon be hearing a lot from those guys as well. We're looking to do our own independent label. So we don't have anyone lording over us, telling us what we can and cannot do. It's keeping it very organic and true to what we want to put out into the world.
Yeah.
No,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So pretty much, we're actually working on three projects right now. A solo project for my wife, one for me, and then we're working on a combination album to where it'll be me and my wife, and we're starting to feature a couple more people that we're working with as far as the brand.
Finishing up with Prince Pedi from House of Fly on the Doug Stewart Show. That name in particular, like, give me the origin. What's the meaning behind the name House of Fly?
Well, part of it is, I want to say, it's an acronym. So the FLY is an acronym for Forever Live Yahweh. So the core of what we do, God is the center of it. But at the same time, superficially, we are Fly.
Yeah, right. Right.
We push that as well. But at the core, man, it's really about, I believe that God as a person has gotten a terrible rap from terrible people. You mention God to someone, the first thing that people think about is legalism, oppression, but they don't think about, actual love and, especially with a lot of songs, even from, certain people in the church community, we got a lot of slack because of, I have a song called So in Love, and our music isn't overt, like, God, 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 Jesus, Jesus,
Right.
We talk about love, I believe that's a part of part of what God has. You know, true
Right.
love. You got a wife. You know, that's an amazing experience to have someone you can be open with like that, and not be afraid to share the things that you can't with everyone. You know, but pretty much, man, that's it in a nutshell. You know, we fly and we serve a fly God.
Yeah. So fly is kind of like an old school term. I'm taking it. You're a little bit younger than me. That's like fly was the ultimate thing to be back in 1986, bruh. Let me just tell you, whenever you attach the word fly to it, that's a good thing. Diggable Planets. They just kind of came to mind, and hearing you talk and check you out. Do you know anything about Diggable Planets?
I am not.
Okay, I'm giving you a homework assignment, bro. I want you to check out Diggable Planets. They were this hip hop group that kind of had the same vibe as y'all do right now. All right, so go and check out Diggable Planets. Real deep group. Where can people purchase House of Fly's music?
Man, you can find House of Fly's music anywhere that you find your favorite artists. So we're on Tidal, Spotify, Apple Music. Our Pandora station is going to be up pretty soon. Pretty much everywhere, except for physical stores. Got you.
Streaming, online, downloading services.
Yep, just type in House of Fly, Beautiful Dreamers.
That's what's up. Hey, Prince Pedi from House of Fly, thank you so much, brother, for coming on, and good luck to you, man.
Hey, thank you for having us, and you have a great day, man.
There he is, Prince Pedi from House of Fly. All right, we got to jump to a break. When we get back, we're going to have on comedian Christopher Columbus on the show for the funny part of Friday. Real good interview with House of Fly, man. Dope music. Don't go away. Back in 3 minutes, the Doug Stewart Show.
So in love with you, love with you, I am. So in love with you. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Who are you, child, and where do you come from? That puzzle look, it tells me you have forgotten. Your identity's such a mystery. If you want these answers, son, you can follow me down this rabbit hole. This world, let it go. Your open mind is all I need, yeah. Give me your heart and soul. I just want full control. It's time that you see, oh, your brother's dying. Wake up, wake up. Your sister's breaking down. Wake up, wake up. Your children running wild. Wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up. Wake up, church in the wilderness. Wake up from your sleep. Oh, you've been sleeping for far too long. It's time you stand up for me. I haven't forgotten about you, no. Oh, you're the first in my seed. My royal blood, it flows through you. Oh, you're children of the King. Now you know who you are and where you come from. Will you pick up this cross, or will you run from your identity? Oh, that comes from me. Your mission is simple, son, set the captives free from this sinful world that has them bound. If they accept my freedom, they could wear my crown. I've given you the keys, now wake them up for me. It's time that they see, oh, this world is dying. Wake up from the deception, no. Wake up, it needs direction. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, church in the wilderness. Wake up from your sleep. been sleeping for far too long. It's time you stand up for me. I haven't forgot about you, no. Oh, you're the first in my scene. My royal blood, it flows through you. Oh, you're children of the king. Wake up in a vision, y'all asked me. Wake up, you drive. Son, what do you see? Wake up, you drive. I said a valley. A valley of dry bones. Wake up, you drive. And to these bones he said, speak. Wake up, you drive. And as I spoke, these bones begin to live again. These dry bones begin to live again. Wake up, church in the wilderness. Wake up from your sleep. Oh, you've been sleeping for far too long. It's time you stand up for me. I haven't forgotten about you, don't you know? Oh, you're the first in my seed. My royal blood, it flows out of you. Oh, you're children of the king. Wilderness, wake up from your sleep. Oh, you've been sleeping for far too long. Yeah, for me, I haven't forgot about you, no. Oh, you're the first in my seed. My royal blood.
Hey, welcome back to the show. Yeah. Hey, so if you watching the show right now and you saw the little exchange me and Prince Pedi had from House of Fly, and I told him to go check out Diggable Planets. So he's a younger cat. But if you in my demo and that guy, for the type of music that they sing and their kind of like persona, like he is going to have a field day today going and checking out Diggable Planets, man. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. They cool like that. Hey, so it is that time of the week where we give you the funny and the funny part of Fantastic Freaky Funny Football Friday. Joining me right now on the line is comedian Chris Richardson, a.k.a. Christopher Columbus.
Yeah, say my name, say my name.
What up, Chris?
What's up, bro? How you doing, man?
Man, I am fantastic. So a lot I want to get into with you, man. But for people that don't know, your real name is Christopher Richardson, but you go by the stage name Christopher Columbus. And first of all, is it okay that I give out your real name? You don't have no warrants or anything like that, right?
No. My child support, my kids are paid off, man. My kids just went to college, so my kids are paid off right now. My child support balance is zero. So shouts out to my kids' mom. You get my whole name right now.
That's what's up. So where did the name Christopher Columbus come from? I mentioned to you during the break. I mean, are you the descendant of the guy that came over the ship and slaughtered thousands of Indians or what? What's up with Christopher Columbus?
Nah, man, I just want to be different, man. And I'm a military guy, man. So I started in the military, and Chris is a common name. So anytime somebody say Chris, they be like, which one? They say the one from Columbus. So my first name is Chris, and I'm from Columbus, Georgia, man. So I put the both together, and that's how you have Christopher Columbus. So all you people out there think my mama named me Christopher Columbus, no, she didn't. So don't be talking about my mama like that. No, something I came up with.
That's what's up. We're talking to comedian Christopher Columbus right now, the Doug Stewart Show on the Two Live Stews Radio Network. So, man, the big thing that you got going on, and we've been working together somewhat, man, and the promotion of it is
I appreciate you.
The Greek comedy tour, man. The Greeks of comedy. Talk a little bit about that. You're actually a Sigma.
Right.
I hate it for you, but you're a Sigma.
But we both traveling though, so we still family. We both traveling, so we still good.
Right, we still good. So talk about the Greeks of Comedy tour, man.
Yeah, the Greek Comedy Tour, man, is really a company that I came up with about last year, man, 2016. I have comedians for all Greek organizations, man, except for IOTA, sorry. And so what it is, you know what I'm saying? So, but I'm looking for IOTA, man. I am looking for another Sigma Gamma Rho also. And so what it is, man, is a big fundraiser, man. We still, and you're a Greek, so you know all these Greeks out here still washing cars and selling cakes, man. And we all got to raise money to give it away. So one thing like we got right now, man, is we need unity, man. And why not start off with the Greeks, have Greek unity, man. Bring us to your city, your organization, man. I bring my Omegas, my Kappas, my Deltas. Shout out to my Delta, Kelly Kells, who just recorded the Def Comedy Jam special last week, man. And then I got 3 of the Q's of comedy on my tour also. I got the funny Steve Brown, Shula King, Big Kenny, and I also got Tyler Chronicles, man. So
that's what's up, man. We're talking to Christopher Columbus right now with the Greek Comedy Tour on the Doug Stewart Show on the 2 Live Stews Radio Network. So where do you guys travel to? Or is it kind of like college homecomings or just general cities, or where do you guys hit the road at?
We travel all over, man. I mean, actually this March, man, we were blessed, man. We went to Japan, bro. We actually went to Japan, man. So we went to Japan, and but it was a military base. But I had to take some non-Greek.
I was about to say. I mean, that probably was going to be kind of hard to pull off where they can't.
It's a lot of Greeks in the military, man. There are a lot of Greeks, and then it's not too much entertainment over there, man. So, but we do NPACs, chapter fundraisers, state, regional conferences. Anybody that just want to sponsor the tour, just want to make some money, or anything to bring everything together, man. But we travel all over, man. This Friday we're in Ocala, Florida, and then next month we're in Pittsburgh. And then we got a lot of stuff picking up in January with Founders Day. So that's gonna be a lot of stuff popping in January because you got 5 of the 9 organizations founded in January. So we got a lot of stuff going on in January.
So when did you decide you wanted to be a comedian? How'd that story happen?
Man, I always wanted to do comedy, man. I always wanted to do comedy. And it was one thing I should have went right out of high school, man, when I graduated with a 1.49 GPA. So I didn't have too many options to do anything, man. So I went into the military, man. I always wanted to do comedy. And when I did, then when I got out, man, and being honest, man, I just started doing comedy like 4 years ago, bro. And how I started doing comedy, I lost a bet. I don't know, you familiar with DJ Silver Knight and comedian Ronnie Jordan?
Yeah, I know Ronnie Jordan, yeah.
Okay, lost the bet, man, and we was at a sports bar watching the Falcons game, and I was rooting against the Falcons, and I lost the bet. They said, if you lose the bet, you come up here and do open mic comedy this Wednesday. And I went, tried, nervous, man, and I did a good job, man. They invited me back, man, and I've been going full steam ahead since.
Wow, talking to comedian Christopher Richardson, a.k.a. Christopher Columbus on the Doug Stewart Show on the 2 Live Stews Radio Network. All right, so what have you been talking about? Like, what are you getting your most laughs from on your comedy tour these days?
Man, you know what? Today is a great time to be a comedian, man. There's so much stuff going on, man. Everything something to do, man. Everybody pretty much talk about the president, but it ain't, man. But one of the biggest things I talk about, man, is it's hard to be a black man right now.
Right.
Especially football season. We can't watch NFL. We can't use Dove soap. You know what I'm saying? They got all crazy stuff going on, things that we can't do, man. So I just watch social media, man. I get a lot of my stuff from social media, man. And one thing I hate about social media, man, they don't have an age limit, Doug. My grandmother, check it out. My grandmother is 92 years old on Facebook, bro. 92 years old on Facebook. I asked my grandma, I said, Granny, what are you doing on Facebook? She said, I'm trying to keep up with my classmates too. Like, what classmates? So when you get these older people on social media, bro, they don't understand the language these young people use. So my grandma called me. She said, baby, what does LOL mean? I'm like, what? She said, what does LOL mean? I said, Granny, LOL mean lean on the Lord. You know what? That sounds good. But check this out. 2 weeks later, here go a lady from church. Pray for my family. My mama just died in a car accident. Here go my 92-year-old grandma. Baby, when times like this, all you can do is LOL. Bruh, at that time, my grandma had 100 friends on Facebook. That next day, I checked her page. She only had one friend. Guess who that one friend was?
Who?
It wasn't me. It was the lady that died in the accident. She didn't get a chance to unfriend my grandma before she died.
Hey, Christopher Columbus on the Doug Stewart Show. Hey, bro, we need to have you back on when we got more time, man, and to promote.
I appreciate it, man. But you know what we need? I know what we need to do, man. We need to get y'all some money, man. We need to do a fundraiser. We do a comedy show for you, your brother, whatever you need, man. Hit me up, man. We get it together, man. We can take this thing city, and put some money, man, so we get you boys back on TV, bro.
Right. I agree, bro. Man, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, we definitely talk. I've actually done, for people that don't know, I mentioned the relationship we got. I've done a couple of promotional commercials for you. And
right.
Man, and so I hope those helped out. And let's keep grinding for what we're doing, man, and trying to get to that next level. Hey, comedian Christopher Columbus, where can people find you at online, promote your website, everything about Christopher Columbus and what he's got going on?
Right, just find us on my website is www.thegreekcomedytour.com, www.thegreekcomedytour.com. I'm on Instagram, greekcomedytour.com. My personal page on Instagram is Columbus1914. And on Facebook is thegreekcomedytour.com and comedian Christopher Columbus. Follow.
That's what's up. All over the place. Comedian Christopher Columbus, thank you, bro, for coming on.
No doubt, bro. Thank you, man.
Yeah, great stuff. Lean on the Lord. That's funny. That's pretty good. All right, when we get back from the break, man, I'm going to give you number one on my top 5 list of Sanford and Son episodes. And when we get back, man, we're going to wrap up today's show and get you ready for the weekend, all right? Don't go away. This is the Doug Stewart Show.
I was drawn to you.
Back to the show. Lean on the Lord, laugh out loud. That's funny. That was pretty good. 404-822-5467 is the number to the show. You can also email me at Doug@thedougstewartshow.com. We got a couple of minutes before we get out of here. As I said at the top of the show, we didn't have the Boiled Penis Award today. The list was very, very short, and undoubtedly 45 would have won. So the Boiled Penis list is nominees that we give an award to for the Buster of the Week in sports entertainment and beyond. So we didn't do that this week, but we need to finish up right now before we get out of here. I can't even remember what it was about this week, but somehow Sanford and Son came up on the show, and so we went back and forth, and somebody posted something about it on social media and one of the groups, and we were just reminiscing about the great Sanford and Son, which I still, by the way, watch today. Like, if it comes on, I'll watch it just like I'm 7 years old again. Like, this is 1977 or something like that. But a phenomenal TV show. So I've been giving you my top 5. Coming in at number 5 was the card game episode. Hucklebuck, and they was shamming. They was hustling Lamont out of his damn money. Lamont is a big damn dummy. Truly. So Lamont was getting hustled out of his money, man, and Fred had to come in and save the day, old school style. Coming in at number 4 was the JoJo Jackson episode. Yeah. JoJo Jackson didn't like Lamont messing with his girlfriend. And Grady had to basically fix it where JoJo Jackson thought Lamont was crazy. And Lamont was crazy, came out there with some kung fu knowledge that he had learned that past week. So that was a crazy episode. Coming in at number 3 was the Blind Mellow Jelly episode. I Want My Daddy's Records Back. Coming in at number 2 on my list was the Big Money Grip episode. Grip Madlock from St. Louis saying, Lamont is my son. When actually he was boning Esther. And finally, coming in at number 1 on my list of top 5 episodes of Sanford and Son is the Fred in Court episode. You see it right there on your screen. I mean, classic episode. That episode encompassed everything about Sanford and Son, man. Lamont did something dumb once again to get him in trouble. Fred had to come in and save the day. You had all of Fred's friends that came to court with Lamont after he got this traffic ticket, where Fred came to court and Fred was acting as his attorney. No law degree to first, but Fred was acting as Lamont's attorney in a traffic ticket. And the classic line from that episode is when the judge and the witness asked Fred about, the chances of Lamont getting off or whatever it was. Fred was like, man, we everything's always slanted against us. The court system slanted against us. We got all of the jurors are white. All of the victims are all of the suspects are black or whatever. And we just don't get a fair shot. And Fred uttered the famous phrase, "There's more ninjas in here, enough ninjas in here to make a Tarzan movie." But he actually used the N-word. This was back in 1975 or something like that, which is crazy. You would think back then that they would be more conservative on TV, but they were actually more liberal in the way that TV came across. You remember you had Archie Bunker with his racist commentary or whatever, man. And so, yeah, they used the N-word a lot back on public TV, on network TV. So I've heard the term uttered on Sanford and Son. I heard it uttered on the Jeffersons, all of those great shows back in the day. So just very interesting, man. And if you go back and look at that episode, and you're watching the Doug Stewart Show, if you go back and watch that episode, man, the funny thing was the interaction between Fred when he was defending Lamont's case and his friends, like Bubba and all, and Skillet and all of those guys that were in the audience watching this trial. And whenever Fred said something that was funny, all of his friends would just go crazy and They were betting on him on how good he would do as far as his attorney. Just a great episode, man. I don't even know the exact name of the episode or none of these episodes, but you know what I'm talking about. The Fred in court defending Lamont as his attorney episode. Yeah, #1 on my list of top 5 episodes of the Sanford Sun. Yeah. #1. Yeah. 404-822-5467 is the number to the show. Actually, you got about 2 minutes left before we get out of here. I need to remind you, if you want to get your call in, I need to remind you, though, that please, that you can help the show by contributing. You'll see a graphic placed on the screen here. It's all strewn throughout the entire episode. Remember, you need to share the episode as well. But there's a graphic that shows you exactly and tells you exactly how you can contribute to the show through PayPal. It's safe and secure. And anything that you can donate, we would really, really appreciate it, man. Anything that you contribute to the show goes directly to the show and to pay people around here and keep lights on and keep the water running and all of that stuff. All right? All right. So please, if you can, man, we'd appreciate it, whether that's 50 cents or 50,000. We'll take it. We're not judging you and how much money you have in your pocket. Yes or no. Okay. So that's definitely big. And once again, make sure that you share this episode of the Doug Stewart Show. The show comes on Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern time on 2 livestewsradio.com. Some days of the week, we go subscription only on the DougStewartShow.com. But for the most part, if you want to check out the show and all the other shows on the network, go to the 2 livestewsradio.com and check out what we got going on the network. All right. So what do I got planned this weekend? Oh, by the way, somebody asked me to sit back and let you see the T-shirt. So you can see the T-shirt. The S is not for the dude in the red and blue trunks. The S is for Stewart, my last name. That's right. So this weekend, man, we're going to relax. I'm going to give you some news. Make sure you stay tuned to the Doug Stewart Show and the 2 Live Stews Facebook chat groups. Early next week, either Wednesday or Tuesday or Wednesday, we're going to do a night show. That's right. Dougie After Dark is what we're going to call it. So we're just going to flip it a little bit, man. So we're going to do a night show. There won't be a show, a Facebook Live, a YouTube Live show next week, Friday. I'll be out of town. South Carolina State Homecoming 2017. That's right. Bulldog. Right. Yeah. So I'll be out of town. I'll actually be leaving like Thursday night, as I do annually. I don't go to homecoming. I don't go to the school like I should, my alma mater, but I rarely. I think I've only missed homecoming at South Carolina State one time, like in the last, I don't know. We've been going since I was a little boy. My daddy attended the school. And so we went every year. I missed one year about 12 years ago because me and my brother were taping a TV show called Black Men Revealed that was on TV One. And so that was the only time that I think I've missed homecoming at South Carolina State since like 1978. So I don't go back as much as I need to. It's just I've been very busy, but I don't miss homecoming. So that's why I'll be in Orangeburg, South Carolina this Friday. You better believe that.
Eat your beans and cornbread.
Yeah, right. Hey, another great show. It's time to get out of here, though. Hey, man. Shouts out and thank you to everybody that tuned into the show today, man. Make sure you share it. We definitely would appreciate it. Also, don't forget, man, contribute to the show if you can. Today is Friday. I know a lot of y'all got paid. What? I got to keep it real. So listen, man, spread your blessings, man. We would appreciate it. We can keep this quality radio, TV, Facebook Live program going, all right? Shout out to the guest today on the show, Tom Silverstein from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, Branden Peters from ProDay.co, my man Prince Pedi from House of Fly, as well as comedian Christopher Columbus. That's right, I had to think of it. From the Greek Comedy Tour, all right? We will be back Monday. Once again, 2livestewsradio.com, audio only, 2livestewsradio.com. Y'all be careful in them streets. Shouts out to Rob Hix at the mothership in D.C./Maryland, DMV area. And we'll see you on Monday, all right? Be careful. Peace.